Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 44 of Wolfpack Wednesdays. This is the night that we all wait for each and every week. The night for the boys to get together, shoot the shit, talk about 1/6 scale figures, and geek out. So, welcome to the show. I want to say hello to my lovely, lovely panel. You guys are looking dapper tonight. How are you guys tonight?
Doing great.
Oh, good.
Very well.
I'm doing well.
Very well.
Very well.
Very well.
All right. Another week. Feels like forever since we've done this. We talked about Shin and Balin last week. And since then, Hot Toys has given us zilch. Nada.
Seems like forever ago.
Would you call it a dry spell?
Man.
Or is it just...
I think the announcer such bangers that it feels like it's a dry spell. I mean, it's only been 6 days.
I know, and February was actually pretty good. I remember some past years where February has kind of been like 3-4 weeks of nothing going into March. And we didn't get that this year. So it's good problem to have, but
Makes you buy stuff.
yeah, and nonetheless, we have a great yeah, that's true. We have a great guest tonight. We have Hot Toys Hotline. We're going to bring him out in a minute. Also, if you're in the chat, please say hello to us. If you have any questions or things you want answered, shoot it to us in the chat, and we'll go over that too. We do have a lot of good segments tonight just for our collecting journey together. But if you guys want anything special to be talked about, then shoot us that in the chat. And let's bring out our special guest. Without further ado.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome tonight's Wolfpack special guest. Making his way to the stream, a YouTube superstar and friend of the Jedi Knights Watch. Please welcome
Hot Toys Hotline in the house. What is going on, my friend? Thank you for being
go.
here.
Streaming. Sorry.
I'm here.
What's
Feels
going
so
on,
special,
dude?
man.
Thank you for being here. Yeah,
intro.
well, we roll out the red carpet for our guests, and we want to make you feel warm and fuzzy and welcome and give you the proper welcome that you deserve. So thank you for being here.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. You know, I've been throwing subliminal jabs, every time you're in my stream, I'm like, when am I going to come on, dude? When am I going to come on? And finally, I'm here. We made it over. So I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, we made it happen. The list is long of guests that are, coming into the Wolfpack, and now you are just the latest one. So, as we say, once on the Wolfpack, always part of the pack. So just want to throw this too sweet out to Connor, and thank you for being here again.
Appreciate
and
you guys.
officially welcome you to the show.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Let's see who is in the chat tonight. We have 36 so far, 37. Hit that like button on your way in, and again, say hello. Ooh, right off the bat, we got a deep question here, guys, from the Movie Canon channel member. Hello, Wolfpack, fellow collectors. Graham, what are your thoughts on Dune Part 2? Are you passing on the in-art Paul Atreides? So, when a movie gets as hyped up as this movie was, I try to take a step back and let it marinate after I see it, because I'm usually let down because everybody's saying it's the best movie they've ever seen. It's a masterpiece. I'm going to see it 4 times. Well, somebody saw it like 7 times in 4 days, or 4 times in 7 days or something. And I'm just like, damn, this has got to be good. And it was. But at the same time, no matter what, I feel like when there's that much hype or buildup, even in your own mind, no matter what, you're a little bit let down. I don't know what it is. But then as it sits, and marinates, you can really appreciate it for what it was. So I did really enjoy the second one. Thought it was amazing. However, I did come out of it and I was just like, I don't know if I need to collect this Paul Atreides. I don't know if this has enough meaning to me to spend the money to pick it up. I've had the in-art Joker. Again, that was the first one, fellas, that they made. So hopefully they've made some adjustments since then. But I'm still a little leery of in-art and of the process of buying. And the character himself was great. But I don't know if I have that attachment yet. Maybe in a year or two I will, and I'll change my mind. Or maybe in a couple months. I don't know. But I think I'm going to pass for now. So what say you guys on the panel? Am I crazy?
Oh yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you're doing your typical Graham thing. Let's be real.
You
We
don't
all
have
know what's
money.
happening here.
Let's be
Yeah.
real. The only reason you didn't get them right now is because you bought like 20 Bad Batch figures. Okay,
Well,
and then
that's
in
true,
a month
too.
from now, you're gonna be like, oh man, it's sold out.
Mhm.
Where can I get it?
Yep.
You know?
No, we know.
I love
We don't
Also,
judge anymore.
April-
We just understand.
I love
It's fine.
also how like I think about like the Batman figure, and then literally just randomly one day you're like, oh, I pre-ordered the in-art one, just
Yeah.
out of nowhere, just not even
That's
talking
true. I
about
forgot
it.
to have that one. Yep.
Wasn't even on the radar, and you're like, oh yeah, but I pre-ordered the the Batman from in-art today.
Yeah. No, Justin, we've come to understand this is part of your process is collecting. So denial, then eventually acceptance, and then eventually, a review comes out. Go figure. So I mean, what are the odds? So it's fine. It's fine. We respect your
Hotline.
decision.
Hotline. Are you getting the Paul Atreides?
Am I getting the Paul Atreides? Come on, dude. Absolutely. Look,
Sculpted though, right?
no, okay. Look, guys. Look, I apologized. I've been forgiven, hopefully, by the rooted hair people. I'm getting the rooted hair one, and I was already gonna get it before the second film because I really, really enjoyed the first one. I've had the Og toys, none of the Paul Atreides figures, but the Gurney, the Leto. I've had those on pre-order for probably like 5-6 months now. So I've had plans for this for a while, and I'm like, if InArt's going to do a Paul, I'm definitely going to wait and see what theirs looks like. Of course, I had a feeling it was going to look much better, but I wanted to wait and see. So yeah, absolutely. I dropped the pre-order. I think I probably pre-ordered it within a minute of when it went up on Queen Studio. So I was that excited about it. I was just like ready to strike. And yeah, the second film, if anything, just kind of hit that home. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, I would love to see a Dune 2 version. Honestly, I'll take both of them, but if I had to pick one, I really do like the Dune 1 version. I like the clean look. So,
Fucking Steve. So here's my question. Because obviously InArt doesn't really complete lines or, they kind of pick a character and do that and then, give you that one and they put all of their hard work into it and whatnot. Any chance Hot Toys does Dune 2 figures?
I think there's always a chance, right? But I don't know. I feel like they would have announced something by now, right? Like Steve was saying before. I mean,
Could
we
this
haven't had
be
it
like their
teased.
one big miscellaneous franchise for the year? Because they kind of do one or two a year.
Just you would think that they would have already, given a tease of the upcoming IPs. Like, why not capitalize on this? Also, why not capitalize on this at a time when we're all talking about, oh, there's a writer's strike. They're not going to have a lot of film and TV to go off of because not a lot's coming out. Like, this would have been a prime time for them to do it. So it's just
Well, and they would have capitalized too by saying, hey, InArt's got this Dune figure. Well, guess what? We got 3 from the Dune 2 movie, so come get our Atreides. So that, and they kind of lost that
that's
opportunity.
interesting.
Right. How many figures is Og Toys making? Are they just doing
Dude.
Atreides?
they showed a roadmap, if you will, and it had, I don't know, 15 characters on it. Like
wow.
Baron was on
Wow.
there.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that's licensed, right?
Yeah, they're officially licensed. They never said anything about it. Like Duncan is on there as well from the first film. They never announced a lot of them. I'm sure they have plans to because they just recently said that they're basically going to do a triple release in April for all of the existing pre-orders, which is there's 3 of them because they've done 4 now. They had the formal outfit Paul, like what he was wearing when he stuck his hand in the box, and then of course the still suit is the next one to come out. So still suit, the formal appearance of Paul, the Leto Atreides, and the Gurney are the 4 currently they've announced. But I hope that they at least announce like a a Baron. Like that's one that I really
Mm-hmm.
want from that list. I'm hoping, InArt did say when they were commenting back and forth with a lot of people on their posts that they're interested in doing Dune 2 figures. So I don't know what that encompasses, but I want to see more. There's a lot more characters that a lot of people are going to want. So.
Oh yeah.
This is maybe a stupid question. Did the Baron have long legs or did he like float?
He floated in the first film, and then in the second film, I don't want to ruin his. I don't know if they ever showed how he looks in the trailer, but he looks a little bit different. But yeah, he just floated basically
Okay.
in the first film.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I went back and forth on Paul Atreides for a while, and then I'm just like, at this point, I can't. Still waiting on Darth Vader. I don't want to throw any more money down right now. I got Rex coming tomorrow. So I'm trying to stay strong, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think you need to collect that right now. But deep in my mind, I'm just kind of like,
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
I just don't know. So just pray for me, everybody, okay? We have Hammer of God in the house. What's going on? Wolfpack, how you figure 5 minutes early. Episode is going to be absolute fire. Thank you for being here, Justin. You are also on the list to be on Wolfpack, so be ready, because you never know when you're going to be called on. Jazzy is here as well. Good evening. Time to chill. He's got, it looks like his wine. I'm still working on my 18-year-old scotch that I had last week as well. So maybe a week or two, and this will be history, which is sad because it was an expensive bottle. And I don't know. It's funny too, because I'm like, I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to buy this again. It was like $150. And like, I'll just drop double that on a hot toy, but like for whiskey, I'm just like, man, well, I might not ever have that again. So kind of just weird how we prioritize that stuff, huh?
Did you open
Captain
that when
Rex
I was
right
there?
there.
Did
I
you
did,
open that
yeah.
up when I was there? Yeah. Wow,
Yeah,
it's almost
yeah.
gone.
Just like
What are you
that.
trying to say, man?
It's like
That's a
that.
little
He's gonna
judgy there,
take a
Steve.
piss later, and
That did not. What'd you say?
That was a little judgmental there, Steve.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Like an
when I was-
apology.
when I was there, huh?
56
I was
people
just saying.
here.
I was just saying it wasn't that long ago.
November. It was November.
I guess it is kind of long. I don't know.
Yeah, actually it is.
yeah, but he's got a lot of bottles.
We got Thrawn's office. How long is this gag going to be going on here, Mike? We all know it's Mike Literis. Please, just go back to the name we all know and love. Bring back the Literis, please.
We miss it.
Thank you. We got Luke Christian. Let's go. Tighter FL, DLO's neighbor. What's up, everyone? Prediction: Obi-Wan released tonight after the show. We were talking about that behind backstage.
Please.
You know, and I was like, that Obi-Wan's got to be kind of coming up here. And I was talking to actually How You Figure on IG the other night too, and I just, I was like, oh, we need something to drop for our show, and he's like, well, if you thought it was something, what would it be? And I was like, Obi-Wan is the one that comes to mind, but still waiting. You guys got any guesses on if, let's just say something drops tonight? We'll say release, because that gives you a better idea. What do you guys think it would be? Brick, I'll start with you.
Oh,
What's your
gosh.
hunch? What do you
Marvel
think mine's
figure.
doing?
I think I'm gonna go.
What is due for Marvel?
Ooh.
We just got the Wanda.
Mantis?
Yeah, but yeah.
When's that Ant-Man figure supposed to come out? That's probably got a while
yeah,
yet.
as well.
Yeah, it's a bit further out.
Didn't wasn't the last release, was that Black Adam?
It was DC.
That was DC, yeah. Awesome
Yeah.
figure.
I know Black Adam's DC, guys. I'm just saying.
Oh,
So
well,
it was Black Adam, and then before that, I think I feel like it's like Marvel, Star Wars, DC. Like it's been
they
going
usually
like that.
take turns.
But that's why I say Marvel. But I mean, if I guessed, I'm gonna be wrong. But I'm gonna go Spider-Man, red and blue suit.
That's
Long
fine.
overdue too. That's a good
I
guess.
think, but I think that's another month out. But we'll see.
How about you, D'Lo?
I think it's Marvel, but I think it's going to be Lady Thor.
Oh,
there
yeah,
you
the
go.
Thor figures they got
She's trying to pop off, so I'm going to go that route.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yep.
Hotline. What's your
It's tough
guess?
to say because you like to think inside the box, and you're like, what's left on that photo that we saw?
Right.
And I mentioned this before we started. Where's the Kenobi 501st? I feel like they would have pushed that one out by now because it's just so simple.
Right.
So if I'm taking aside that they've recently released a lot of Star Wars stuff, I would say probably the Kenobi 501st. But I also would not be surprised about that Obi-Wan just for them to kind of capitalize on that hype behind Vader and get that Kenobi out, keep people
Sure.
talking. But yeah, Kenobi 501st seems to make the most sense to me just because it's the most simple, but very surprised that one hasn't released yet.
How about you, Sneaker?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is something Marvel, but my heart says Obi-Wan, baby. Give me that Obi-Wan. I thought they pushed the 501st. I thought Sideshow at least pushed it to June, I thought.
Yeah, they do that sometimes, and
Potentially.
then they don't stick to it. So it's
Same with that, like ATRT is another one that's kind of just like, I feel like a lot of people
Yeah.
forgot about that. I don't want to come out for the sake of financials, but
Base.
but that one's gonna be cool too. But I would say, I mean, Obi-Wan's a safe bet. I thought he'd actually potentially drop sooner, given that Vader is out now, but I know he's like due this month, so hopefully very soon.
Still working on that
What I
mouth.
Mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. And they didn't update on. They didn't like formally say they updated the sculpt, but
right, but you
know,
could
from that-
see it in that photo.
yeah, you can see it. So I'm excited just to see the release of that and how it ends up turning out. What it's gonna look like too.
Very good. Very good. Let's move it along. Christian Cooper is here. Thank you for being here, my friend. 73 in the house. We got Hot Toys Hotline bringing the fire with him. So hit that like button. Also, you can subscribe to all my friends' channels. That is in the description below. Appreciate you guys for being here. We got Born Again. What's up, Wolfpack? Thank you for tonight's show. Bought a used figure off eBay. It smells like smoke. Aired it out. It's faint, but I know it's there. Should I treat it or leave it alone? I've had this happen twice, and it is very frustrating. If you guys want to go ahead, I've tried a bunch of things. I'm trying to figure out what was the one that worked. Dryer screens, those lint screens or whatever. I've packed those into the box with the figure for a while, and that kind of absorbs the smoke. I've tried airing it out. That didn't work. I also tried there's something else I can't remember. Do you guys have any ideas about this?
So, I actually had this happen. I bought Maleficent. Believe it or not, I collect the Disney stuff, and dude, it legitimately smelled like an ashtray. And when I put it, so I took all of the clothing off of her, and there's pleather on her dress, so I was a little wary about like soaking that in water, but it ended up being fine. I was like, you know what, if it gets ruined, I'd rather at least attempt it because this smoke smell is so bad. Dude, the water was like orange. It was so bad. And I basically just, rinse, repeat, let it soak for a few hours, ran it under cold water under the sink, changed the water out, clean the container out to get all that gunk out of it. And I just kept rinsing and repeating. And honestly, after it dried, I put the clothing back on and it's had time to air out. Like it's about 95% gone. So I just used laundry detergent, basically. That's all I used.
You guys got anything else? I think I tried the baking powder as well. Like I put the figure in a bag and a cup of baking powder and sealed it up and just left it in there just to think if that would absorb it. But I think I had the best luck with the dryer
sheets.
The dryer sheets, that's it. Yeah.
Never
I've had the problem twice. I've thought about even
That sucks.
it's like do you want to be a dick and like return it, cuz eBay they'll let you return it. But like
Depends on the price you got it for too. Like if you're like,
Right.
dude, I got such a good deal, I'm willing to like that Maleficent. I got her for like $150. So I'm like, at that point, I'm gonna sit there and try to fix it.
and that's
Right.
why I always like put, smoke-free home just so people don't even have to ask, cuz I think
Yeah.
some people probably don't even notice the smell, if they are indoor smokers, which it is what it is. But it just sucks when you get it and you're just like, woof. So Movie Canon is here. What's up, Gio? Thank you for being here. Brad, my friend from the UP. Too sweet to you, my brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a channel member. We got Jovan here. Hello, hello. Tristan is in the house. What's up, Pack? Good evening to you. Happy Wednesday. Hayden Collects, another channel member. What's up, Wolfpack? Jovan says, snagged me a Cayman Rider Black Sun this week. Way better than expected. Those were the ones we had a hard time ranking at the end of the year for our 2023 figures. If I'm
I remember,
correct, right? Yeah, it's like, where do we put this? Because don't know what the hell it is or don't really care to. But no, I mean, for anybody that is into that, it looks pretty detailed. Like there's a lot of cool stuff going on in that figure. So congrats on that. We got Collection Obsession. What's going on, my friend? Luke Christian says maybe try placing it into a container with a separate container of bicarb soda. Bicarb is really good for absorbing smells. There you go. Jose is here. What's going on, my friend? Too sweet to you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. X-Man. Can't have a Wolfpack show without X-Man in the house. I'm here. The stream can begin now. We also got Riley Reviews. He says, the Batman. Oh, this is going to rile some feathers. The Batman is greater than Dune 2. What say you guys?
I don't block a lot of people.
Wrong.
Riley coming in with the hot takes.
Crazy.
They're so different.
Not even in
I was
the
about to
same
say that's
category.
a tough one because I think
They're so
on its
different.
own, the Batman stands stronger. But as a cumulative 2 films, I got to give it to Dune. But by itself, the Batman versus like Dune 1, Dune 2, I don't know. That's a tough. But they are very different,
Right.
It'd be different if we're like
Tough
the
to compare.
Batman versus like Batman v Superman. Then you could make your decision based on your favorite Batman there. But
The Batman is the 7th best Batman movie.
Yikes.
all right, guys, it was nice being.
Hot takes all around. So, Brick, I don't want to get into this because this is weedy, but so you would rank Batman Forever better than The Batman?
I would rank the trilogy of Dark Knight better. So that's 3, both Keatons. So that would automatically put the Batman at 6. And then I'd put Forever because it's more fun. And it's my childhood nostalgia. So,
Gotcha.
and the villains are more exciting. Just gonna say it. The Riddler and not Two-Face. Yeah, Two-Face. Just way more exciting. But yeah, just the Batman was fine. It was fun. It's not a bad movie. It's a solid 8. But maybe 8.5, depending on my feels. But
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Dang, so you're saying
bro.
all
Just gonna ask him a
all
question.
the other Batman movies are above an 8.5?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So Batman Forever is how much?
Crazy.
And what is
I
that?
was
Oh, yeah.
with you. I was.
told
with
you guys this is
until you
weedy.
got to the Batman Forever part. Then
that's
I'm
fine. So you're with me, so you still
I had,
rank
like,
it 6.
Not
fine.
look, not even look with you as in I can understand where you're coming from. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
you
saw
Riley.
I had the Homelander face once you said the Batman Forever comment. I was like,
See, that's the thing is,
Oh,
I mean, when I rank my hero movies, I don't rank them based just like this comment. I don't rank them based on movies like Dune or like Interstellar or something like that, Oppenheimer. I rank them alongside like superhero movies, maybe certain action films. So my ranking system is also different. So yeah, I would give Batman Forever 8.5 as well. When you look at all superhero movies, for sure, it's fun, it's electric. Not a terrible Batman. I thought Robin was good in there with what's the name? Michael O'Connell, something like that.
Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell. Thank you. I was close. But no, I really enjoyed that, and I saw it in the drive-in theater, so it makes it even more nostalgic.
Very good. Very good.
All right.
DLO, you got anything to say about this Riley comment?
I mean, I don't see it because I already blocked them. How dare you?
Let's keep moving.
Riley's
Yeah.
dead to me.
We got Flavio's house. Oh, careful. Tiki Barber said that, and it didn't go over too well. So
That's true. That's Tiki Barber. Nothing goes over well with him.
we got Flavio's House of Collectibles. What's going on? Thanks for staying up late with us on the East Coast.
What's up, Battle Damage Flavio?
Battle Damage Flavio.
It's so
Walk,
messed
walk
up.
away, Riley.
I gotta say it every time now.
We got Darth Kibbles here as well. Next week on Wolfpack, Graham has pre-ordered Inart Ball. Doc Bat, good to see you. Too sweet to you, my brother. Thank you for being here. Hey, Connor, what was the base that you ended up using for your Queen Amidala figure to make her stand up with the dress correctly?
oh yeah, I answered that for him. So for
Okay.
those of you guys that don't know, they sell like just plain. It's kind of like the old school Hot Toys bases, but they're completely blank. You can buy like a 5-pack of them on Amazon. That's what it was that I used in that video, and it just so happened to be the perfect shape for her dress, and it just kind of like wrapped around it perfectly. So if anyone's
Nice.
curious, or if you just want cheap bases, they sell them on Amazon.
Yeah, I got a pack of those too, just for even the crotch grabbers. You know, you lose a crotch grabber. Or a
Yeah,
figure
that's
you
why
buy
I
on
originally
eBay,
got them. Actually, it's
missing
funny,
'em.
funny you say that. That's why I originally got them.
Yeah, and they'll blend in perfectly. We got Commander Green in the house. What's going on, my friend? Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. If you guys are so inclined, check him out on IG. Takes great photos of these 1/6 scale figures. Truly gifted. So thank you for being here, sir. The Batman was good, but Dune 2 was better. You know, even for me, like, it's tough. Rob and I think a lot differently. So I really love The Batman. Reminds me of like Seven, you know, that kind of that murder mystery, but then with Batman. I love that you saw Batman, the movie Seven.
Oh,
okay.
Walk
I love that you
into
see
one.
Batman 90% of the time, but at the same time, I don't know. Dune 2 was really good.
The Batman's action was just really weak. There just wasn't a lot of it in there. Like, I was expecting like a really climatic experience at the end, and it's kind of blah. It wasn't terrible.
It kind of reminds me of Dune though, because it's leading into that second one. Like this was kind of the build up to go into the second one.
2026.
Yeah, that sucks. Where he's kind of like changing his mentality on why he is Batman. So I thought it was cool to see him get to that point. But I knew going into it, it was more of a detective movie, so I wasn't really let down at that point. But EvilSneaker has been a member for 6 months. Where is Lando? Is he safe? Is he all right? I got a poll going on right now. I'm going to close that.
On the poll.
We got 80 in the house. Make sure you have voted on this poll because I'm going to end it right now. And Sneaker said, depending on what the results were, he would go and buy one for 140. I said, would you buy Lando for 140? 68% out of 45 votes said, hell yeah, great deal. 31% said, no way, too expensive. This guy,
the 31%. Bless the 31%.
Spitting in the face of Lando and Star Wars fans, and he won't take this amazing figure for over what? Now it's 120. It goes down $10 every day. Somebody talk some sense into him.
Keep it going down. I asked the chat if they had any smoky Landos. $100 or less.
Smoky Landos?
Yeah, with the smoke smell. With the smoke smell. So then I'll get real cheap.
You're that down bad for the deal. You're like, I want the smoky ones.
Right. We got Manaha Collectibles in the house. Hello, guys. Just stopping by to see the beautiful panel. Thank you for being here, Dante. Appreciate you. Was on his stream last Friday, and that was a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't, go check him out as well. We got Darth Tamaros in the house. What's up, fellas? Stopping in to say howdy. Gonna catch the replay later on. I didn't know he had his own YouTube channel, so I actually found him by mistake because I was searching up some cabinets and whatnot, and he had some really good videos. So go check him out too, and give him a subscribe as well. Really cool dude in the community, and I see him everywhere. So good supporter. All right, let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. We got Zord Photography, another friend of the show. Yo, what's good, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Another gifted photographer in the community that takes amazing photos. If you guys want to like even just see different poses that you can steal, you know, Zord Photography is definitely one to go and do that. That's where I get my inspiration is from other people. So definitely not that creative, but he is. So go follow him as well. We got Yomo in the house. Thank you for being here, my friend. Too sweet to you. Universal Key channel member. Good evening. We got Adric 23, another channel member. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for coming in. Thrawn's Literis. Figurecraft. Hey, yo, all good looking guys on the panel and chat, of course. What's going on, Figurecraft? Happy belated birthday. I know I said it to you on Facebook, but it was just his birthday, so happy birthday. Speaking of which, I believe DLO The Collector has a birthday in 8 days. So we will be going live on the eve of DLO's birthday. So we're going to have him buy himself a cake and candles. And then he's we're going to sing to him. So I hope you guys all join us next week so we can celebrate all that is DLO. that in mind.
Lowest rated show ever. Wolfpack history coming up.
Pablo Meza in the house. What's going on? Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions too. So I'm kind of scanning, but at the same time, don't want to miss anything. Collector Joey, channel member and friend of the show. He just got together with a bunch of his Copper Drop fellas, which was really cool to see. Really cool vlog. So go check that out too. Made me jealous. Would be cool if one of these years, and I know we're all busy humans, but like one of these years we have our own like YouTuber Hot Toys convention somewhere in like the middle of the US of A, and we all just get together and hang out for a weekend. That'd be pretty cool, but probably won't ever happen because it's just too tough. Brad says I'm still waiting for Batman. Anybody on the panel still waiting for Batman?
Yeah, everybody.
I got mine. I
got mine.
I got first batch from Sideshow. I was pretty lucky. So
wow,
that's me then.
Shipping any day now.
No big deal. No big deal.
I remember when I got mine in January, people were saying, "Oh, you could just wait a few more weeks and you'd have it from Sideshow," and here we are. So, still
congrats. The one time he's right.
We got Frank Flores in the house. What's up, boys? Good evening. Good evening. We got Jimmy in the house. Even if Hot Toys got the Dune line, it wouldn't be as good as Hot Toys. Even if Hot Toys got the Dune line, it wouldn't be as good as Hot Toys. Interesting. Interesting comment. Hot Toys is Hot Toys. One Adam 12. Hey, Wolfpack, it's Hump Day. That means Wolfpack Wednesday. Thank you for being here. Guys, see here. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. King Killa in the house. We got 88 in the house. So I am a man of my word. I say hi to everybody. You guys are what makes the show go. So we'll be here as long as it takes. And Connor will never come back because it'll be a 3-hour stream. So
I'll be asleep.
We got Clone Trooper Jesse for 125 ship. Couldn't pass up that deal. Damn, that's a really good deal.
Great deal.
Jeez.
We got a super chat from Thrawn's office. $2 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate the giving. I'm having an identity crisis. Okay. Hi to Hot Toys Hotline. Just figure it out, man. But thank you. My father, Django. Hey, guys. What's going on? Miami's Nemesis is here. Good to have you here, my friend. We got Maz Toys Box. Hello. Striker 47. Good evening. Going to take a break from putting the finishing touches on my Proton pack for the special screening premiere of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Any of you guys looking forward to that?
It looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it. I actually think, hot take, I think it looks better than the previous film. Hot take, I know.
Yeah. So something I agree too, because something I'll say is I liked the original. Thought it was fine. And when the new one came out with the previous one, which one was that? What was it called? Afterlife. I was really surprised. I watched it with my kids, and because they were singing the Ghostbusters song out of nowhere. So I rented that one because I thought it was more like they would enjoy it more because it's newer. And then I really enjoyed it. So now I'm looking forward to this one coming out.
I've just been a very casual Ghostbusters fan. I just couldn't really get into the newest one, and this one, I don't know. It looks okay, but what do you guys think?
My girlfriend, when we saw Dune, we saw the trailer for the new Ghostbusters. I think it's called Frozen Empire, and she asked me, she was like, "So where does the one with all of the women fit in?" And I was like, "We don't talk about that film."
I actually didn't mind that one. It was kind of funny.
It's not even like. It was just the plot to me. I didn't like that. I just didn't care for the plot. I just didn't see where it fit in the whole universe. I just didn't care for that part.
Brick, we love you. We love you, Brick. We got Joe P here. Good evening. I will not tolerate any Val Kilmer slander.
Got the Lando photo.
I didn't think he was that good, to be honest. I thought he was a backseat character for that movie, and he thought that too, and that's why he didn't go into Batman and Robin, which honestly probably saved his career. So,
see, that's why I liked it because it focused on the villain.
Batman. What are you talking about? He was hotter before he took the Batman job. He did like the Doors movie,
Top Gun.
Iceman, and Top Gun. I mean,
they wanted him to be in Batman and Robin, and he said no.
Well, yeah, that's because he was one of those like method actors or something like
he
that.
want to show his nipples.
Yeah, he also said he felt like very isolated when he was in the suit, so it kind of put him off, pursuing any further Batman roles just because he didn't feel comfortable performing in the suit.
Well,
And then
I thought he did
the Island of Dr.
editing.
Moreau.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, that's a weird movie. You ever seen that one?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. No, I wouldn't say I love it, but
I still don't
interesting.
understand it.
It's hard not to like. You want to turn away, but you can't. It's
Sad.
very weird.
Very weird movie.
SG Collectibles is here. Hello, hello. You guys are hard to keep up with. I'm getting there. I just got Lando for 130, and it's amazing figure.
Look at that.
Thank you.
That's who.
Thank
took
you.
the
And
DLC.
character.
There
You
go.
know,
130. Congratulations on overpaying.
you're a jerk.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Chris. Congrats, dude. 130. That's pretty good. That's pretty good deal. That's pretty good deal. I was just
Just
kidding.
not for him.
I was just kidding.
We got Steven
Just
Gentile
keeping
in the
joke
house.
running.
I inserted a paper cup with the bottom
much.
cut off to keep Amidala's dress from wrinkling. Big Dog Pound 1 is here. Hotline, why don't you give him a woo or a howl?
I got him. I got a lot of practice because Woo! There you go. Big
there
dog.
we
I
go.
probably just woke up the whole neighborhood. My mic probably just peaked, but you got to do it for Big Dog Pound, man. Come on now. Too bad Chris isn't here with the belt. That's really what he deserves,
Yeah.
but he's here in spirit.
AZ Figs is here as well. Can we get some Bad Batch episode 6 and 7 figure announcements already? Oh, please give us Omega, please. I would love that. Can I
No
get a harumph
spoilers.
from anybody? Come on.
No spoilers. Episode
We need to
6 and 7.
manifest it.
Harumph.
Oh, there is another character too we could get. Anybody
There's a
on the
couple.
panel watch?
No,
latest-
but I already saw the
I watched
pictures.
it. Oh,
'cause
yeah.
They're broadcast it all over social media. Star
Well, don't
Wars,
be lazy.
their
Get on
Facebook
it
page
and
does.
watch it.
To be fair,
You wait
that
so
literally.
long.
the character in question, people have been wanting a hot toy of that one for quite a long time. So
Mhm.
now
Very
might
nice
be
if
the
they did it.
time. Yeah, now might be the time.
Dune is far more boring film to me. Too much talking and walking in sand, and more talking. Where's the lightsabers?
They kind of have a lightsaber, that little like moisture evaporator thing. It looks like a lightsaber.
All right. I know, Jimmy. I'm just giving you shit. Let's see.
Poor Jimmy.
Yeah, RDS Geek. Hello, all fellow collectors. We got Brandon in the house. What's up, guys? What's going on, dude? He actually in real life looks like the Hulk. He's ripped. So has a great collection room as well. So very active on IG and Facebook groups as well. We got Nick's Collectibles here. What's up, Nick? Thank you for being here. I know he tuned in for the Spider-Man on the thumbnail. And we'll get to that later. Don't you worry. Big Rib, hello. We got Edgar in the house. What are your thoughts on the Spider-Man? Do you guys... Is this vague, or do I not know what's going on?
He's talking about the Spider-Man on the thumbnail. Toby?
He's actually going to be in our verses later on, so that's
Mm.
why he made the cover. Let's see. Okay, I'm caught up.
You sure? Can we start?
We have been
You need a-
starting. This is what.
you need a minute?
Nope. No, I need a minute. We got Conquer Knight in the house. What's up,
Damn
guys?
it,
What's going on,
Dude.
Conquer Knight? Thank you for
I'm
being
kidding,
here.
bud.
83 in the house. Thank you guys so much for the support and actually tuning in to watch us. It means a lot. I want to start with our first segment, and you guys in the chat obviously chime in as well. I want to know, this doesn't have to be a long segment. This is more of like a primer. What figures is keeping you up at night? What figure that you are searching for, you're worried about, like getting in hand? Like maybe it's going waitlist, or maybe it's about to drop, or maybe it's been out for a little bit and you're just saving up money to get it. I want to know, what's a figure that's on your radar that is the next figure you're going to get, or en route, or what's been keeping you up at night? DLO, I want to start with you because I know you've been challenged by a couple figures here recently.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy these last 72 hours. So shout out to everybody who bought Wrecker. Appreciate
Heyo.
that. That was awesome. So I had to scramble and
Great
grab
figure.
one.
It's
Yeah,
funny that
so-
I got him before you did. That's what's funny.
You know what? I was leaning on the fact that people were like, all right, either you got Crosshair or you don't, and you gave up on the line, right? That's kind of been my thinking about it there. And then Sideshow Sideshow sold out over the weekend. I thought to myself, oh, okay, well, this is a weekend sellout. It'll be back on Monday, whatever like that. They didn't come back. So I started going to my, my backup resources, and he was flying off the shelves. I was like, crap, I better secure one. So I did. It'll be here tomorrow. So thank you for that. I'm actually kind of excited though. But as far as figures currently right now, me personally, Padawan Anakin. That's the one. Yeah, I'll tell you why. It's a domino effect is what I'm seeing here. Padme just released. She's doing very, very well right now. A couple of places are starting to lose stock of her. And if you don't have your Padme locked down, I strongly recommend doing so, because once Anakin does drop, that's it for Padme. And I say Padme. I'm sorry.
Padme.
You like when I say it like that?
In Graham's opinion, it's Padme.
In his opinion.
Padme. Padme.
Spell check.
Listen, you're correct. I just prefer my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So Anakin for me is definitely like on the radar, because I still haven't done it yet, and I know the second she's gone, whatever is left of his stock is going to go with him. So yeah, it's a domino effect I'm looking at right now. So we'll see what happens.
Well, this poor SOB. For me, it's trying to find Crosshair. I saw one listed on eBay today for $800. Not sure if that's out of your price range or not, but keep looking. There's got to be better deals out there. Hotline, how about you? What are you targeting?
So targeting would be a bit off base, because I did already get it twice. So that tells you why it's keeping me up at night. So a big, and I mentioned earlier that I've been like kind of backwards collecting a lot of the Disney stuff. And a big grail of mine, it was really, really high on my list that I really wanted, was the Sam Flynn Tron Light Cycle set from Tron Legacy.
Cool piece.
Yeah, dude, I really wanted it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought one on eBay. The guy was like, yeah, the motor works, because the biggest thing with that one is the motor being burnt out or the lights not working. He's like, the motor and the lights work, and that was true. But when it showed up to me, there was a bunch of like pretty bad damage on the Sam Flynn figure, like scratches all over it. And the helmet, which has like a clear visor, there was scuffs all over it. So I sold it on Facebook. I went on there, and I was like, I'll sell it for cheaper than I paid for it. Sold it on Facebook, and then Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles, not to plug him on here, but he was able to find me one for a pretty good price that was sealed. So obviously I'm taking a bit of a risk with the sealed one, but I'm like, dude, like that one's so important to me, and I had that bad experience. I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. So I took a risk with the sealed one, and Jeremy was very clear up front about it. He was like, yeah, you're taking a risk getting it sealed. I'm like, I know, but the chances of the motor being burnt out are actually pretty low, just because the motor is burnt out on most of them because people leave it on their display, and that set's been out since like 2012. So years and years of people leaving it on their display. Of course the motor burnt out. Of course the lights get burnt out. So fingers crossed. That one's keeping me up because it's been pretty slow in shipping. And I was actually joking with Jeremy earlier. He was like, yeah, I probably got drone striked. The boat probably got drone striked. It's the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, that would be my luck. But yeah, so that's what I'm waiting for. I'm really excited for it. Right.
How about you, Brick? Anything?
Oh, I think it's the 89 Batman. I think that one's been on my mind, waiting for its release, and just very excited to finally get my Michael Keaton Batman. Finally get a Batman in general. I've been waiting for a Keaton one to get in my display. So, yeah, that's Keaton's my favorite Batman. I know a lot of you guys, Pattinson, that was like the figure of the year, and really excited for that. So, for me, it's Keaton coming out and having that base that he's coming with. So excited for that.
Well, and you weren't collecting when the original came out, so this is extra special for you. Like this is, your initiation into Keaton Batman. So yeah, extra special there. How about you, Sneaker? I know you're trying to hold fast, but I know, don't say Lando. Just give us something, different, because we're sick of hearing about it.
Relax.
I'm relaxed. Steady.
That Highland Park, baby.
Nothing like
I will say I'm gonna go kind of the DLO route of the domino effect. I know people are already talking about obviously Crosshair is the anomaly, but I'm gonna go with Tech, which is one I said a few shows ago of Tech is I think gonna be kind of a sleeper figure. I cannot wait to get that figure, and I think Wrecker's now waitlisted. Tech is like the last one. It's going to be really interesting to see how everything unfolds with the Bad Batch after Tech comes out. And like now if Wrecker's waitlisted, is Tech going to be the next one to follow where he goes pretty quick? And then what is going to happen with that whole line? I think that's something that's pretty intriguing. So yeah, I'm going to go with kind of DLO's thought process of like the domino effect of like, it's really tough already with Crosshair to get like, have all the Bad Batch, but then Tech's going to come out, and then what's going to happen with the line. It's going to be very interesting. And Batman. I want my Batman.
You guys see Bane 2's waitlisted?
Hasn't it been for a while?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I think on most sites he's been waitlisted.
But yeah, I mean, it's so weird to me too, because a couple weeks ago, like, I didn't know anything about the Bad Batch. Now I'm just all into it. And now all I hear about is Crosshair. People searching for Crosshair and they can't find it. Like, it sucks because, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Hunter and Echo sat, so the numbers for Crosshair are probably a lot smaller. He sells out. Now everybody is trying to just complete that line. Like, that's the worst feeling, is when you have the other ones and you can't complete that line. So I do feel for anybody out there. But stay diligent, you know, search every day. That's part of the fun of this hobby. Something I did with like my DX8 Joker. Every day I'd search for a Joker until I found a price that I was happy with. So it took me, I want to say 5 or 6 months, but it's possible. So don't lose hope. And it's part of the fun of collecting. Yeah, Christian says Wrecker sold out, dang. DLO found his at Alter Ego. I know Hawk Wars Toys still has 1 or 2. Obviously the prices jumped up a little bit, but he does have them. So check out Alter Ego or Hawk Wars Toys. Man, X-Man. Hopefully you used my link, but my display is keeping me up at night. Ordered Maju cases, got delayed, couldn't wait, canceled. Started building a Costa case, hate it. Need more space now, don't have it.
Damn.
I know this isn't something everybody can do, but if you are going to order Maju cases, please order before you need them. It's a plan ahead thing. Try to get them before your space is tight, because it is going to be a wait, but it is going to be worth it. And I can speak from experience. So that's a shitty place to be in, X-Man. So I hope you get it figured out. I mean, what other alternatives are there? I mean, it's either...
Well, can I add on to what you said about that there, Graham, for a second, just from my own experience with Maju case?
Mm-hmm.
So what Graham said is absolutely right. Like, getting an order as far as like what you think generally you need, the timing of how long that you have to wait for it can be a blessing and a curse. Blessing wise, for the positive side of it, if you see your collection in a different light a couple months into your already placed order at Maju case, Brian is actually really good if you need to make additions to your order. Like, that's something I give Brian and Maju case a lot of credit for, because when I initially started my order, I was just going to get 3 cases and be done. And by the time it was almost my turn, I already bought like 4 on the on Facebook Market, and I realized how big the size was and how much more I needed. I was able to add more to my order there. So if you're thinking about doing it, don't be hesitant because you don't know how much you need. Just order what you think you need, and if you need the more time, like I said, the team in Maju case are actually pretty darn good about, you know, adding stuff to your order afterwards. So don't even sweat it.
Well said.
Very well.
Very well. Very well.
Silence. You can speak now. Go ahead.
RDS Geek, he pre-ordered Tech. Sneaker, what do you think is going to happen with Tech? Do you think enough people are going to miss out on Crosshair that he'll sit too?
I don't think he's going to sit.
You think maybe he will follow in suit of Crosshair? Because, I mean, Wrecker didn't come out very long ago, and he's waitlisted now, so...
Yeah, I think Tech is going to get waitlisted. I don't see why he wouldn't with what happened with Wrecker. I mean, unless it's a hype thing right now with Season 3 coming out. Like, that's potentially it. But yeah, like Darth Kibbles makes a good point about... Like, this is what's intriguing to me, is what's going to happen with these once Tech is out. And, like, I know Crosshair is kind of the anomaly, but is it going to go the way of people just saying, oh, I don't want to collect them because I can't get Crosshair? So, but, like, right now, a lot of people can't get Crosshair, but everybody's buying Wrecker. So that tells me like probably the same thing is going to happen. Is like what's going to happen with Hunter and Echo. Obviously, you can get them below retail right now, but it's just interesting. You would think that if the value is going to drop, you think that Wrecker would be readily available right now like the others, and it seems like it's trending kind of in the other direction, especially with Wrecker going waitlist. I don't know. It's just and it's interesting because they're completing the full line too. So like you can get them all, obviously other than Omega, but you can still get them all. So it's just kind of an interesting line, if you will, to see what happens.
What do you guys? So it seems like Crosshair is really throwing a wrench into people's plans, like with collecting these Bad Batch figures. What do you say to somebody that is kind of like on the fence of collecting the Bad Batch now that Crosshair is kind of gone? I mean, is it still worth it to get the 4 and have them, or do you agree like you got to have all or none?
No, I think 100%. The smart play to be here is play the long game. If you can't find Crosshair for a good price, if you can't get Crosshair now at a decent price, lock down the other ones at retail. Lock down the other ones there to make sure that what happened to Crosshair doesn't happen to you on any of the other figures there. And down the road, a year, maybe 2, maybe less, I don't know. Somebody will want to get rid of theirs, and at that point, you can pick which price you're willing to pay at that point. I don't think it makes sense if you're interested in the Bad Batch to just shy away from the rest of them. If you can find Hunter for a great deal, Echo for a great deal right now, Wrecker is still available in certain locations. So, I mean, it's getting sooner to being sold out, but you can still find them and revisit it. I mean, concentrate on something else for now, and then revisit it when you find a good deal in Crosshair. That's how I would approach it if I missed out.
And like Kibble says too, it's probably the worst time to be looking for a Crosshair. He's already sold out. Plus, the season 3 is going on right now. The hype is probably at an all-time high, so it's probably not the best time. So yeah, I think the long game is better here. Wait for it all to die down. Maybe in the fall, maybe next year. Again, this is Hot Toys. Like, we're waiting a year and a half, 2 years for a figure to be released anyway. So why not just kind of in your mind, almost pretend he's not out yet and just kind of push it down, kick the can down the road a little bit.
What was retail on Wrecker? $295?
$290.
Yeah.
Or did it go up that $5? I thought it was $290.
Yeah, $295 after the price increase, but started at $290. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything else to say before we kind of move on here?
Connor, where are you at with Bad Batch? What are your thoughts
on the figures?
Yeah, just like the whole thing with all of them. Like, what's your mindset on it? So,
let's be real. For those that are really new to collecting, let's say post, Echo and Hunter, those figures originally went up for pre-order prior to this new 6-month window thing that we got going on in the States here. Now, most stuff on average lasts about 6 months on Sideshow. Even secondary sellers that buy from Sideshow as their distributor, they're getting cut off on their orders very early. So that explains part of the reason why those 2 original figures are so much cheaper, because they weren't experiencing that cutoff. That was back when Sideshow was like, oh, we're just going to keep them up forever. Keep buying them. Oh, we're going to stock a ton on our shelves. So it doesn't surprise me that Crosshair is going for so much. I actually just checked eBay. The 2 most recent listings, sometimes you have inflated listings. One of them was $750 and the other one was $950 with $100 shipping. So it's like, if those listings are real, that's crazy. But I do have kind of a silver lining to say regarding Crosshair. Let's say you get the original 4. Let's be real. We know that Crosshair, defected from the Bad Batch for a while in the show, and you just had those 4 together. So keep that in your mind, have those 4 together, and like DLO said, be patient and get Crosshair when you find a good deal. Because let me tell you something, guys. There's always going to be people that buy from Sideshow that don't watch eBay, that don't go on Mercari. They're not on YouTube. They're going to throw that figure up for basically what they paid here and there. It's going to be a rare deal, but it happens. It really does. Like Graham said, you just have to stay on it. You got to stay on the chase, but be patient about it. Don't jump and pay right now. I forgot who said it, but right now is absolutely the worst time to buy Crosshair. So, don't feel like you have to jump on it. That price will go down. Let's be real. It's going to go down. It's not going to stay at that price. At least in the foreseeable future, I don't see it staying at $750 to $900. There's just no way I see it selling for that much over time. So I think it absolutely still makes sense to grab those 4, and then just be diligent about finding a good price for Crosshair. So.
Well, and Thrawn's office has a great point too, because it was my mentality. Because obviously I got into it late, and I knew Crosshair was almost unobtainable. But thank you to my friend Hawkworth Toys, he was able to hook me up. A little plug there. But I was just thinking along the lines here too. Well, I mean, no spoilers here, but the first 2 seasons they're really on their own without him, so they kind of do stand on their own. So I would almost look at it that way, because that was my goal too. I mean, I started collecting because I just love the characters and love the show. So if it's something you love, I say just go with it and see what happens. But yeah, patience is key. All right, guys. Well, good job answering all of those questions. All right, we're gonna dig a little deeper here now. So collecting Endgame / your forecast. Do you have one? Where do you guys see yourself in 5 years? The reason I asked this, I want to set the table a little bit here. I was talking to Steve this weekend, and it was about space, right? I'm running out of space already. I've been collecting for 4 years. I'm a 2020 baby, and I've sold figures too. I've curated. So I'm just like, I'm getting Blaladins tomorrow against Steve's will, and I'm gonna set them up here so that I have extra space. Plus, come on. I mean, this is pretty sad. So it's time.
It is very sad. Your background with Lando in it. And
all my stuff is right over here, and it's magnificent, but none of you guys can see it. So, but it's getting tight, and it's been 4 years, and I'm like, if I've already come this far in 4 years, what's another 4 years going to look like? Am I going to double my size? I can't do that. I don't have the space, so do I change my collecting style or tendencies? Do I slow down a lot? It's hard because you want to be content, but there's so many good things coming out. So I want to know from you guys, what's your end game, or what's your forecast for your future? What does collecting look like to you in 5 years? Do you think you're going to just keep going and see what happens? Are you planning something on how you want your collection to look? Do you think you might have to slow down or sell more figures just to fit the new ones in? So think about it. I want Brick to go first on this one, because I know he hasn't seen the Bad Batch, so he was very quiet on that last segment. So I want him to jump in here.
Yeah, I mean, an end game. I mean, that's tough, right? Because I often think to myself these types of questions, like, am I still going to have all these in like 20 years? When I'm like close to 60 and this and that, and I always tell myself I will. But you never know what's going to happen if your collection changes, if you start collecting something else, if you just stop collecting in general because you're paying for your kids' college. I mean, who knows, right? So for me, I think my end game is looking ahead, knowing that I'm going to have a finished basement by then, being able to probably get more Maju cases or something different to display 3 times the amount of figures I have behind me, at least. But I also see myself being in a divorce situation, so I got to be careful.
If you keep going.
Because right now she's actually really cool with it. I mean, it's nice. She's actually more supportive than I thought she would be, which is really nice. But I mean, if it does get 3 times bigger, right, and then it takes up the whole basement. But I mean, right now I'm kind of like 1 year at a time kind of guy. I'm looking forward to these figures that are coming out. I'm hoping that they announce some different figures. I'll probably get those if they announce it. And then every year we have new movies. So then I'm going to keep wanting. And this is how they get us. So in 5 years, I'm just going to be right where I'm at, but a bigger collection.
It almost makes you root for more reissues too. The more the figures you get,
you're
just getting then you can kind of replace them and they have a home to go into already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you said it very well. Like, take it a year at a time and just kind of see where it is. I don't have an end game. I have a plan. Like, I had a plan with the Maju cases on like area that I was going to collect, but the fact that I'm kind of obviously I could squeeze a lot more figures into them, but I like them having their own little space. So, granted, take it with a grain of salt. I could squeeze a lot more figures into these. I just want to be able to admire all the figures. So,
sure.
I had a plan for that, but I don't know what like my plan is in 5 years or 10 years or anything like that. So I'm just kind of gauging if you guys have, and not necessarily an end game, but a forecast, you know? So Connor, what are your thoughts on this? Is this something you ever think about? Or are you just kind of flying by the seat of your pants?
Dude, all the time. Because, I mean, realistically, I buy a lot of figures, and I sell a lot of figures. You know, I buy some. You know, if I get it, I'm like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'll sell it. I have a pretty large collection, and I say that in a non-bragging way. I've been collecting 1/6 figures for a long time. And, you know, I've thought about all the possibilities. I've thought about, you know, maybe one day I'll just be like, I want a ton of money in my pocket, and I'll just sell the whole collection and be done with it. Or, you know,
people have done that.
Right. Anything could happen. You know, I never leave that out of the question. As much as I love collecting these figures right now, there could be a day where, and I've done it with other hobbies, where I'm like, I got my enjoyment out of it. See you later. You know, and I sell them all. It could happen. But I think where I'm at right now is I'm going to be expanding like one more time in the basement, putting some shelves and stuff on the wall. And then once I see the real amount of space that I have left, I'll probably have to let some go. Because again, I do have a lot of figures. I'm more of the type of person, if something really interests me, I buy it. And then I wait for my reaction in person to decide if I'm going to keep it or not. So that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I will definitely be making some cuts once I get all the stuff moved into the basement. And I'll be like, okay, I really don't need this version of this character. You know what I mean? Something like that. So
yeah. How about you, DLO?
For me, 5 years from now, if I had it my way, semi-retired. Semi-retired. Yeah. No, I'll be honest. With you. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time as well too, and I've had a lot of great pieces, and you know, sold some, kind of like Connor said. Yeah, you know, been doing this for a long time. I'm at the point where, for me, like, I don't want to sell as many figures as I did before. Like, let me explain myself. So basically, I would kind of, like Connor was saying here, like whatever, you know, I liked, I would buy it, then kind of get my reaction to it there, and then eventually decide if it's going to stick or not. For me, now it's harder to say that now, because now there's pieces in my collection here that I don't want to ever let go. I don't want certain pieces. So that immediately drops like my choices as far as like what I can have in my collection. So kind of like you were saying before about the reissue, we were saying in a break a second ago, kind of having already built in space for it there. So, you know, I went from an addictive line collector. Like, I had to have everything from a line. And it's cool at first, but then when you have to plan your space out because you only have so much to spare, you start cutting out some of the weak links in the line. And then eventually you just keep the ones you really care about. And then it's cool because then you mix and match so you get cool combinations that you didn't think about doing because it wasn't part of the line originally. So it's kind of that OCD collecting, if you will, to it. So now, if it's up to me, I've pretty much got my mod cases. Happy with that. I'm going to order 4 more because now that I've had, it's already been a year since I've had mine. But since I've had them for long, I mean, all I have is time to stare at this thing. So I've got a vision of where it's going to go and hopefully where it ends at some point. So if it wasn't for Hot Toys always taking a year or two for every single figure, I probably would already have everything I wanted. I'd probably be retired at this point. But so yeah, I'm just going to be semi-retired if I had it my way here, because at that point I'm pretty happy with everything here.
You'll have to be the Walmart greeter and keep a part-time job.
Uber on the weekends.
Right. How about you, Sneaker? I know we've talked about this, so I know your answer, but enlighten the chat and the panel.
I forget what I kind of told you, but hopefully it's along the similar lines. But
you pretty much just said, I don't have an end game.
I don't
think about it.
So I think about like how I was with Black Series, and like Connor brought up the point of like, is there a point where this might just run its course and I might just be like, hey, I have my enjoyment out of it? That's where I was at with Black Series, and actually went the other direction of like, this line is getting like stale to me, and it's not. I don't really see Hot Toys going that direction because the way that they do figures, and they don't just put out like alternate paint jobs for figures like Black Series. So it's a lot different in that regard. So I don't really see that happening, but I don't really, I guess like Endgame, to be honest, like to put it bluntly, I don't really care right now about my Endgame of this, because like I just have so much fun doing it right now. Like if 5 years from now, I don't know where I'm going to be at in collecting. But it's just so fun. I don't really honestly put too much thought into it because I'm having so much fun in the hobby, and to look that far ahead to me is just, I feel like it's just not really
All right.
a good use of my time to even
Let me
like really think
rephrase
about
it a little bit. Your Maju cases are getting more cramped than you thought they would, all right?
Sure.
And I know you have more on the way, but you get to the point where what you have, you can't expand any further. Do you keep cramming them in to the point where you're losing each individual figure and just the value of that figure almost in an emotional stance? Or do you say, do I need to slow down? Do I keep doing this? Is it worth it? Because now I can't really admire all of my figures. It's more of just a blob in the cases. Like, does that ever come to your guys' heads? Or
it would be tough to have it just be like, I feel like if your collection's to that level where everything is just crammed in, like, are you really admiring everything? If it's that, like, just crammed in everything, maybe some people are. For me though, I feel like too, by that point in time, 5 years from now, 6, 7 years from now, there's yeah, right. There's probably going to be figures that are going to end up like, there's probably going to be figures that I have now that I'm going to end up wanting to get rid of to replace with newer stuff too. So I see that being a thing 5-10 years. Like, I'm sure in the next 5-10 years, there's going to be figures I currently have where I'm just like, I don't really need to have this figure anymore.
You enjoyed it for that period, and
yeah. And maybe there's a new one that came out, a new variation of it. Obviously, we're always getting like variations of stuff in 2.0s, or maybe it's like, oh, I had this version of the character, now I want this one that came out, a more definitive version. So I think you can curate for basically as long as you can rationalize what you want in your collection. So I don't think like it's going to be really, it's going to take me a lot longer of a period of time to get to the point where I feel like I am just completely like done and I really need to reevaluate how I'm doing things. It's kind of hard for me to think about it too, because like you said, I have space. Like, when you have space, yeah.
So I mean, you've got experience on the Black Series. How long were you collecting Black Series before you did the Hot Toy switch? Remind me again.
Like 9 years, 8 or 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much the entirety of the line I almost collected.
So, best you can remember here, how's your experience been from when you started with Black Series to how your first, what is it, a year and a half now, almost 2 years now, collecting Hot Toys?
A year and a half.
How's the experience been for you as far as like the excitement, the energy to the hobby and stuff like that? Because obviously you're already streaming with us every single Wednesday, so obviously you clearly love this a lot. So I mean, kind of tell us, how's your year in review for you? How's it been?
I would say one thing, and this is like kind of to the YouTube side, is I think it just adds a lot more enjoyment to the hobby when you can share it with your friends and share it with everybody else. First and foremost, I don't know if I would have as much enjoyment doing this now if I couldn't share it with people. I think that's a big factor too. Like, I didn't share Black Series with anybody. I didn't ever like, people knew I had my collection, didn't really like, that wasn't a huge part of it. Was that a reason that I got out? No, I wouldn't say that that's a factor in me like getting out of those figures, but I will say year in review of Hot Toys was a lot more enjoyable in that sense, just from the social aspect of it, right? Because you always want to share your passion with people. So yeah, like getting on YouTube and doing that, and obviously making friends. Like, it's crazy to think like never would be talking to any of you guys if I never got into Hot Toys, let alone started like getting on YouTube, right? Never would have met anybody in the hobby. And that like also makes it more enjoyable, you know?
Yeah.
So I think like that's like, does that answer your question, DLO?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think, I love the answer there, because I think that's the one thing about Hot Toys collecting, or 1/6 collecting in general, is just that it is a very unique hobby in the sense that we don't do it alone. As much as we could is, we can ignore each other realistically if we want to. We all have vastly different opinions on everything, right? We argue about it all the time, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we fight, whatever, but we still keep coming back for more. So I think that's always so unique about what we do here, just because I think
like the beauty of the hobby.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's part of the beauty of the hobby there. As much as you love your collection, I think you love the community side of it just as much.
For sure.
100%, for sure. So I feel like that makes it, like, that would just make it really challenging to just like say, okay, I'm getting out. Because like, I don't see, like, if we're all really into it, like, that helps. I think that's a good point. When all of your friends are really into it and we're all talking about it on a regular basis, right? Like, that keeps you engaged in the hobby. It just makes it more fun. Then you start developing memories of like, man, I remember when I'm sure a couple years down the road from now, we're going to be talking about like, man, remember when we were talking about this figure? Like, you start getting memories attached to when things are coming out, when you're anticipating stuff. So it's just, you build this memory bank of everything that you've experienced as well. So with that being said, like, it's hard to think about just, I don't see myself just like getting out of the hobby. Definitely like not anytime soon. It would be way down the road. And like I said, it's really not on my mind, if that makes sense. Like, I just,
dude, yeah, you're only a year in, trust me, man.
And I'm a
Like,
year, I'm a year in, and I know, like,
be thinking like this.
Like, what the hell am I doing?
And I know your perspective too is different, because like you and like Connor said too, like you guys have been in the hobby for a long time, and like you're now like getting to the point where like curating looks a lot different, right? But my main point is like, yeah, I know like year and a half, not very long, but 5 years from now too, like it's really hard for me to think that far ahead, because I'm just enjoying so much what I'm doing now. I just don't really have much to really think about that far. If I'm out of it, I just don't see that happening first and foremost. But it's just so much fun right now that I guess like I don't really care to have an end game, because also if I think about an end game, that's just going to make me be like, well, okay, like, am I going to think about having a definitive stopping point on what I'm doing? It's just a weird thought, I guess, to have.
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, that's why I say semi-retirement, because I don't think I can ever just stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
going.
there's more to it than just the collecting part. Like I said, I mean, that would mean if I stopped tomorrow, that means not only do I stop collecting, you know, I stopped talking to you. I stopped talking to Graham and talking to people like Connor. I was like, that's weird. We talk every single day. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So a big part of that is like, you can never fully be out of it, because you meet so many great people along the way. And obviously you want to continue those relationships with those people as long as they're there. So yeah, I mean, for you and Brick, I mean, I envy you, because if there was a way to hit the reset button and start this all over again and just start from my first figure up and just remember like the gazillion figures I was hyped about, the millions of pre-orders, the millions of figures I was cursing at because I can't believe I
So
missed out on.
did you have
All
more
of the
fun
goods
back
and
then?
bads. No, I have honestly, like, I have found a new way to have fun with the hobby, because, you know, with the hobby itself, like the first couple of years, it's like a honeymoon, you know, everything's great. You know, you love everything about it. You know, you can't wait for the next one. Everybody's talking to each other, high five, and yeah, I got mine figure and all that good stuff. Then, you know, the toxicity can come into it there, you know, people being mad at the hobby, people having strong opinions about certain things here that don't align with yours. And then we start having grievances that, you know, we have opinions, but we take it to the part where my opinion is better than yours. I don't like that. I think we should all be able to speak our opinion and respectfully respect the other person's opinion without it being an insult to yours. Right. I think that's that kind of stuff. So I stay away from Facebook. I don't do the Facebook stuff anymore. Too much drama on there.
He's on Reddit.
I'm not on Reddit either. No. I do IG. I have my own little corner of the world when it comes to 1/6. I take my photos. I like other people's stuff there, and I kind of go about my business. But I stay away from Facebook if I can, just because when you are constantly around negativity, you're going to have negative thoughts. And, you know, I started having negative thoughts about the hobby myself too. But doing this with you guys and kind of seeing your energy towards everything, it kind of rejuvenated me a lot more. And now I'm having fun again. And now I'm finding other ways to have fun with the hobby. So yeah, so now I do it for really more for the community, and it's really more for like just finishing the story. If you guys are a wrestling fan, you guys know that, finishing my story. So, you know, I look at my hobby as kind of my own personal mural. I'm the artist. I am going to finish it piece by piece. I don't have to finish it tomorrow, but when it's done, it's going to be beautiful. But, you know, there's still so much to talk about afterwards once I'm done with it. And kind of, so yeah. So for me, I mean, this is kind of like a kind of rejuvenated my love for the hobby here. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm just I'm glad that we talk every day too, because who else would I send all of the gifts to? And then I'd be laughing out loud to myself when I send them. So
if it was a yes or no, like, I'm sorry, Graham, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if this is a yes or no, where do you see yourself still collecting 5 years from now?
Yes.
Yes.
But this is so it's more so like
no, I'm just curious, like just like black and white, like
yes.
do you see yourself still being in like just in the hobby at least?
Yes. Connor.
Dude, I don't have a definitive yes or no for that. Like, I hate to be a cop out, but I would have to say I don't know, because it's like, dude, I'm very good at when I know it's my time. I'm like, dude, sell them. You know, kind of like, you know, Steve, you did with the Black Series stuff. You know, and it's not that I'm feeling that way right now. And you know, Bretta had a really good question. I know we didn't really get a chance to
that.
address
We're gonna
it,
get to
but
that one.
that really got me thinking, man. Like, it was a really good question, and you know, once we actually start talking about that, I'll share my thoughts on it. But
We can go into it now if you want. Go for it.
yeah, so something that you guys don't really experience or see a lot because it's behind the scenes if you're a YouTuber. You know, Bretta really kind of got me thinking, and it's true. Like, there's an aspect to being a YouTuber that you guys don't see, and that's like, oh, you know, sweet, I got my new figure in. Let me put it back. Especially if you do reviews like Bretta does and like I do, or like Graham does as well, Steve. You put the figure back in the box, and you're like, cool. When I get a chance to film it, then I'll open it back up, and that it sucks, man. It really does, because especially when you buy a lot of figures, and, you know, I know Bretta's getting a lot because he gets a lot of the third-party stuff on day one to review. It hurts you because you look over and you're like, dude, like, I don't have enough time in the day to open these all up right now and then get some footage of it. And, you know, so I've got a back pile of stuff that I have to film something on. So it's like, when stuff like that happens, you do get a little burnt out, and it does kind of, you know, hurt your enjoyment of the hobby a little bit. Not that, you know, doing YouTube just kills your enjoyment of the hobby, but there's, just to be real with you guys,
It can become like work, you know?
Right, and it sucks, and like, and that's why, you know, and this is absolutely not a dig at anybody. That's why I don't do like those reaction videos when new figures are dropped, because I know in me, if I do those and I try to keep up with it, it's gonna destroy YouTube for me and make me not want to do it anymore. That's why I'm like, cool, I got my live stream. I can go on there every week, once a week, and say, this is what I think of this. This is what I think of that. And, you know, I can't keep up with like the reacting to new stuff and saying like, this is my thoughts. And as much as I would want to, I know if I go down that rabbit hole, it's just going to like just suck all of the enjoyment out of it for me, because it's just, I really, you know, kudos to those that do that and they stay on top of every single figure, because it's a lot of time investment. It really is. And then, you know, some people are seeing it right when it goes up at 12:30 at night and they're hopping on their computer and recording a video. That's a lot. It takes a lot to do stuff like that. So great question, Bretta. And yeah, I totally, you know, I can't lie and say I haven't been like, dang, this sucks that I got to keep these figures in these boxes, or, you know, I can't just go out and do something. I got to plan my day to record a video. You know, it's just that if you're being honest with yourself and being honest with the people that watch us, that's just an aspect of doing the YouTube stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I used to get burned out periodically just because we're streaming Wednesdays. I'm putting out a video Friday. Like, what do I put out? Like, even just thinking, what content can I give you guys that is actually going to be worth watching? Like, I'm not just going to pull something out of my ass, and, you know, what could actually be, and, you know, you're thinking about that throughout the week. Then you're like, okay, now I got to find time to film. Then I got to find time to edit and post. I'm trying to be healthier and work out. I have a job, you know, I have a family. Yeah. So it can be a lot, and it can become more like work than anything else. So there's a fine line between enjoying the hobby and being a YouTuber, or it becoming a job and you're like, I got to get this video out. So it's a tough line to kind of balance on, for sure. And I feel you with the whole review thing too, because I almost feel guilty if I don't review something, like, oh, I missed an opportunity to review that, because I'm not as disciplined as you, Connor, where if I get a figure and I just can't find it in me to review it, or I don't have the time. I know I don't have the time, so I'm putting it on the shelf. But in my gut, I'm like, you really missed an opportunity. Like, you missed putting up a video. But then it's like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, enjoy your freaking figure that you just put in your display. And or it's like, you know, I got to take a picture, I got to put it on Instagram. So, and it's not woe is me or anything. We choose to do this, but at the same time, it's work. And if it becomes too much like a job, you know, you got to sometimes either take a break or reevaluate, you know, because we've talked about that in the past too, where, you know, we don't want anybody to get burned out and quit, but, you know, definitely take a week off or just, you know, take a step back. So what do you guys think? Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's you said it, Graham. I have a family too, so I have a 4 and a 6-year-old, both boys. So I want to be that father figure to them. I want to be able to hang out with them after school or on the weekends, and, you know, go outside, watch football or whatever, because my oldest is a huge football fan. So, or what have you. So when I film a video, I'm taking so much time away from them, and then it's like, oh, let me just film a quick 15-minute video. Okay, so you set up, you film, you might get lucky, film in like 30 minutes, but then you got to edit. So now I'm down in the living room or down somewhere near them, still editing because I want to get it out in time. And views for me, I don't want views to help me. I want views to get more into the community. Because if you're a YouTuber, views do matter. They do. And if they don't, then really there's no point of doing a video. Because for me, it's getting out to the community and getting to know more people. And kind of showing my love of the hobby, right? And relating to people, kind of like what we're doing on this show. So if I do all of that and take all of that time, and then I get a review that maybe has 300 to 500 views, I'm like, was that worth it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then it does burn me out, but at the same time, it's fun. I do have fun doing it. I do have fun looking at my videos now compared to 6 months ago and how much better they're getting. Still needs work, but I'm having fun. I love the process. And getting to know you guys, like Sneaker was saying, just, you know, it kind of reminds me of in high school or maybe right after high school where, you know, you kept in touch with buddies by playing video games. And it's like that,
right?
That outlet, you know. So it's kind of nice, like these live streams at night, because the kids are in bed. I don't feel guilty doing these live streams at all. But going to like reviewing though, it does, because I love the hobby. I love collecting, and then I also love filming. But when I film a figure that I unbox, and that's the first thing I'm doing, I don't get to enjoy that figure the way I would if I didn't film at all, you know. And by the time I'm unboxed the figure and I put it into the display case, I'm just like, cool. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
There are pros and cons to being a
sure.
YouTuber. Is it going to burn me out one day? I hope not, because I love being with you guys. I love meeting people like even Breda here, and you know, just all these different people in the community. I mean, I did that, not to bring this up again, but I did that Spider-Man video that all of you guys on the panel worked with me with, and it was just really cool. Like people I never really talked to, like Will Foxification, like all of a sudden him and I talk now, and he, like, you know, I just randomly messaged him. He's like, yeah, man, cool. Like that just shows what kind of person he is to the community. Or you know, or Riley or Collector Joey, like all these different live streams that we see, and how easy it is for people to, you would think we're all rivals or something, but we're all just, heck yeah, man, let's get together. I want to be on your show. You can be on my show. So that to me is more important than my collection, honestly.
Yeah,
For sure, dude. Yeah, I don't have any rivals either except Riley's reviews after today. Only one, I swear. I'll keep it just him. He knows why. But no, that's awesome, man. I mean, listen, it's kind of funny because I look to you guys because you've been doing the YouTube stuff longer than me, but I've been doing the collecting stuff longer than you. So we kind of all kind of bounce off of each other's kind of experiences and kind of, you know, help each other out there. But I got to say, I think being a collector is easier than being a YouTuber, if I can just say that for a second there. I really, really do. Just because depending on your personality, like me, I'm a perfectionist and I am never satisfied. So I will continue to work on something until I get it right. And even after I put it out, I still don't think it's good. That's just kind of how my head kind of thinks when it comes to that. So I'm always looking to get better for that. But I would say like that also probably is how some people feel about collecting as well too, where it's just a matter of like you're never satisfied with your collection because you're always thinking about the next thing. And kind of to your point, it kind of hit me hard when you were talking about like, you know, how after you're done with a figure, you kind of just put it away and you're just like, whatever. That really takes away from like why you did it in the first place, right? Where it's just like you bought it because you thought you were going to really love the figure, and you know you kind of robbed yourself of the experience because of, you know, what you're giving back to the community to give them that content, right? So I think that's kind of the important message for anybody, whether this is year 1 or year 10 or whatever you're in your. I think it's always good to kind of take a breath, assess the situation, and remind yourself why you do this and why you love it in the first place. Because there's always going to be ups and downs to this stuff here. So I think it's important to just refocus like what you're doing and how you're doing it. And just really make sure you take a second to make sure you're happy with what you're doing. I think that's probably the most important thing we need to tell ourselves sometimes.
You guys are walking right into the next segment. So
segue.
Sneaker, if you have any thoughts on Brader's question, or just as collectors, do we focus too much on obtaining the next figure and not really appreciating it? You know, we kind of put it into the shelf and then we're on to the next one. Like the hunt and the thrill of getting a new figure is so awesome. Like I'm guilty of it as well as the next guy. Like I want to know how, you know, I need to take a step back and enjoy what I have more. And how do we be content with what we have as opposed to trying to get all these figures when we know it's not really obtainable?
Yeah, I'll touch on Bretta's question real quick about that, and then I'll talk a little bit about this. But 30 seconds. Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much everything. Like, you guys made a lot of great points. Like, I was just looking at my YouTube channel and like, it's crazy. My long form stuff. So I started posting stuff like June 2023. So I guess what, 8 months or so, but almost 9 months. And like, I have 84 videos, 16 of which are long form, because like the majority of my channel is just doing lives. Because yeah, I have 2 kids as well. It's really hard for me to, like, when I put stuff out, I want to make sure that it's really well done. So I try to put out long form videos that are, you know, good and like Graham said, like a worthwhile product to watch, like to consume and watch. But then like, yeah, like I said about the community aspect, like I just really enjoy doing live streams. I can do them when my kids are in bed. I don't have to edit anything. And then I just get to like hang out and talk to everybody. You know, like I really enjoy pulling up every single comment from everybody and chatting and getting everybody's insight into the hobby and talking to people, doing the collector tour, just everything, just talking to everybody. Like that's what makes it the most fun for me on YouTube. And then if I don't feel like streaming, I just take a week off or whatever. If I'm just like, I don't like it to be work. I don't want it to be work. And you guys are all right. Sometimes it feels like that, right? Where you feel like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to do this, but it'll be good for my channel if I do it. It'll be good to put out there and like keep, like you have to be, another thing is you on YouTube, you have to be consistent. You have to continually be consistent. That's how YouTube is. It's just the nature of the beast. So yeah, I just like doing lives and hanging out with people. So yeah, but anyways.
Well, and that's one thing I told you guys too when we decided to do this Wolfpack thing was there's no strings attached. If you are feeling burnt out or you have family time or something that Wednesday night, you do not have to be here. Like you're not going to get shit for it. Life is what's more important. This is just something that we can do together and, you know, enjoy each other's company and the chat, but you know, it's not mandatory. So, cause I definitely didn't want us to get it burned out doing this too. And it's funny too, because we've done it every single week, except for, I think last summer, the week I was gone. So like, it's just been awesome. I mean, there's been breaks here and there with a couple of guys, but you know, I don't want anybody to get burned out either. Like this is supposed to be fun. So
yeah, you just take breaks. Yeah, exactly. You want to have fun. And then I guess like if you want me to go first, as far as this goes,
yeah, go ahead.
Like as collectors, do we focus too much on obtaining the next figure? I don't. No strings attached.
Awkward time in case.
Oh, with my sister. Gosh.
I don't think. Do we focus too much on obtaining the next figure? How can we be more content with what we have? I don't think it's a matter of necessarily for me like focusing on the next figure and being content. I think it's just the nature of the hobby puts you in a position where you have to look ahead at what you're doing because new stuff's coming out. You have to decide what you're ordering. Like, I know we've talked about it numerous times about having a spreadsheet and how your collection is going to grow over time. So I wouldn't say that it's focusing too much. For me personally, I don't think I focus too much on obtaining what's next. I think more so I focus on big picture about how everything's evolving and what I'm buying and like what the outlook looks like over the course of the next few months. And that's why I like to keep a spreadsheet, see what the market is on figures. Like I more so just like kind of the whole, you know, all of that stuff combined more so. I wouldn't say that I'm not content with what I have though. You know what I mean? Like I am really happy with all the figures that I have and I enjoy the stuff that I get. Rarely is it ever just like, oh, got a figure, take it, put it in my display, done. What am I getting next? I don't feel like I really navigate the hobby that way. It's more of like, yeah, I enjoy the stuff that I get in. I don't really like, it's always fun. Like the hunt is, we talk about the thrill of the hunt all the time, but that's fun. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that takes away from like I wouldn't say that that's a negative focus on obtaining the next thing. I think that's like part of the fun of the hobby, right? Like that's an enjoyable part of it. You just have to be smart about it. So for me personally, I don't think I focus too much on obtaining the next figure. I'm pretty content with the stuff that I get, but you have to look ahead in my mind, because like obviously we're all collecting and continuing to collect, and you have to look ahead at what you're getting. You just have to find a balance. I guess that's what I'll say about it.
I love this comment.
Hold on a
He
second.
loves streaming
Hold
so
on a
much.
second.
He will do a birthday
Well,
stream where he asks people to help him decide which figure to buy, and 2 hours later,
Justin,
he doesn't buy
okay.
it.
Hold on a second. So the reason why this happened
Shots
was because
fired.
literally the day after I got a conversion on the Jazzing Batmobile. So that's why I didn't buy. That's why I didn't buy anything. But fair enough to call me out. Thank you, Justin, for keeping me holding me accountable. It's like I almost did. I almost bought like I almost bought like the Tumbler and Venom.
Well,
gonna
he was
buy
asking
2
for
things.
our opinion too,
Right.
guys. Remember that too? And then like,
Yeah, I was
we
asking
gave
for
it to
help
him,
'cause
and
I
then he just
wanted help.
buy something else. Like,
But then I got the conversion, and then I decided to go that route. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Maybe next birthday.
Brick, are you gone?
birthday.
Is next week
He
the week
strings
you're
it
gone?
along. Steve, I'm going to call you out. Here.
It's the week after.
Hold
Oh,
on. I'm gonna
okay.
I would
You'll
like to
be
raise
here
my
till
hand,
it's
please.
passed.
I'm sorry. I'm not letting Steve get off the hook that easily. Sorry. Because Steve, no. You come back. You come back because this jogged my memory. This is exactly how the whole Lando conversation started in the first place. You realize that, right? You were all like,
February is long gone.
"Yep." Well, not even that. I think
long
it started
gone.
back in January. Heck, maybe even
This started a long
December.
time. This started a long time ago.
It's been a while now, but it was the same. Oh yeah, help me decide if I should get a Lando. I don't know if I
That's
should get
not
it
how I
right there.
sound.
I should definitely put this. I don't know.
Very hippie-ish.
And we have sent you a
It's like Ben
gazillion
Stiller in
listings,
Dodgeball.
and we're still waiting for Lando to show up in the collection. So, sorry, I'm not gonna let you skate on ice on that one, pal. That I'm gonna call you out on that one.
No,
That-
well said, DLO. And I just have one thing to say to that.
Unreal.
He is
Unreal.
unreal.
Unreal. Oh, thank you for that, D-Lo, and thank you for that, Justin. Anybody else
You
want to
deserved
call
it.
me out? Anybody else want to call me out while we can?
You deserved
Shall we
it.
continue with the segment?
The entire community is looking for a Lando for
deserve
Steve,
it.
and he still
I
says
deserve it.
$20 less.
I deserve it, you guys. Maybe in 2026, Lando will come home.
Ridiculous.
Oh man.
Connor, how about you? What are your thoughts on this topic?
So for me, this is an interesting topic because that's really what I love the most about that hobby. If you guys follow me on anything, I'm the guy that's like, oh, look what just got announced. Look what just got teased. I post everything. I have third party, doesn't matter. I post everything, and I enjoy that. It's and I totally agree with Steve. There's definitely a thrill of like seeking a figure and then a gratification where you're like, damn, I got a good deal on that, But also another thrill for me is seeing new stuff go up. And, I buy a lot of it, but I don't buy all of it. But it's still enjoyable to see like, oh, cool, present toys this week. They teased a Wesker figure, and then they teased a Link figure, and then they teased another Terminator. So like stuff like that's really fun to me. And then, on top of that, we got like InArt, who's doing some really cool stuff, and just another kind of company thrown in the mix. And I kind of agree with Steve too. You kind of have to go with the flow in this hobby. It's just how it is. Like, look at us every week. We're like, oh, what's Hot Toys gonna drop next? What's gonna be released? And that's what keeps the hobby fun. And this is just a very fast-paced hobby. Not in terms of how fast the figures are released, of course, because we know that's not fast. But just in terms of like the rapid rate in which stuff is teased and announced and released, it's part of the hobby. So it's kind of something you roll with the punches, and if you do that, you can find a way to make it fun. So for me, I think it's awesome to see stuff constantly being made. It makes it fun for me, and especially if you love all IPs and you're a fan of movies, like there's just so many options right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
What are you guys up top? Any thoughts?
You want to go first, Dilo?
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, so for me, big test this week. This question couldn't come at a better time here because I'm going to be in the thick of things this week here. So I'm waiting for Vader to come from William Cody. So that should be arriving any day now. I just told you guys I pulled the trigger on record. He comes in tomorrow for sure. I just ordered Black Adam, the gold suit.
Damn.
Yeah. And
that one coming.
let's see, I dropped some cash on the Padme, so I'm waiting for her to become available. So, I mean, I can potentially have a handful of figures within the next couple of days, and it's just going to be like, this is the stuff I don't like about collecting Hot Toys, where like it all comes at once, and I'm excited equally for every single one of them. But I know darn well Oh, this guy.
There you go.
Sorry, I got sidetracked for a second there at these guys. What I was gonna say was, you guys suck. You guys suck. But stop leaving the screen. Anyway, let me finish my thought here. So
He's losing
it. I'm trying to keep it together right now. How bad you guys are dicks. All right.
Hey, I'm listening.
Thanks, Connor.
Focus.
Here's somebody who's professional. Yeah, but I mean, I got 5 potential figures on my hands here that I'm gonna probably get at the same time, and my concern is like I'm equally excited about all of them, and I may not give one figure the attention that I probably should give it. It's just kind of gonna be one of those ones where I'm gonna be really excited about one in particular, and then one's gonna probably be, probably just put in the display case and not really thought of for a while there. So, but yeah, I think to your question there, it's definitely facts. But yeah, I think that's the tricky thing about navigating the hobby. Sometimes you got a plan, and Hot Toys has another one. So we'll see how that goes.
Are you going to be home when you get Wrecker tomorrow?
Actually, I will be. I will be home.
Send pics.
I will.
Want to know your thoughts?
Let us know if he rings the doorbell.
Right?
Oh,
You
man.
son of a bitch! I know you didn't ring that doorbell.
That's what we really got to know.
All right, Brick. How about you?
Oh man, so you guys love the hunt. I feel like these figures hunt me. Like I always feel like they pop out of nowhere. I'm like, shit, I gotta pull the trigger now, or all these releases all at once, or something like that. But do I feel like we are too focused on the coming up figures? I don't think so. I mean, I think that's the fun of it. I enjoy my figures that I have here in my display. I enjoy going to your house, since you live in the neighborhood, Graham. I'm able to see your collection. You know what I mean? So, and you have so many different figures than I do. So yeah, I mean, it's just really cool. And then going over to Sneaker's house, seeing his figures, and it's just nice to have that. So I feel like I don't have to be on the hunt or think about that next figure as much as some probably do, or feel like I have to get every figure, because knowing that someone, if that figure I'm like 50-50 on, and then you get them, I'm like, cool, I'll just see him at your house. You know what I mean? So
It's so funny you say that, because Collecting Madness, Chris, who streams with me, he says that all the time. He's like, I don't have to get it because I'll just go over to Connor's house and see his collection. I'm like, that's fair.
Exactly. Yep.
Thanks for your input, guys. X-Man says, I'm concerned about getting to the point where I need to move something out of the collection to make room for something else. I have 5 that I can see letting go, but that's it. Yeah, and you guys know me. Like, I've never been one to shy away from selling. Back when Hot Toys were kind of worth more of their value, I was definitely a believer in using your collection to fund your collection. I don't really do that anymore because I'm not going to lose my ass on all these figures. But like, I've gotten to the point though too, there's really nothing in my collection I want to sell. Maybe like 2 or 3 figures that I could let go of. But like, I'm thinking like, I'm like, I don't really have anything. It's just now I'm to the place where I've kind of matured, if you will, as a collector, and I've found out like what I want to collect, and that's where I'm at. So like, it's tough, like, to think about losing space and then almost having to make that decision. Like, you have to either stop or slow down, super slow, or sell something. So that's tough. And that's what I don't want to be in.
Do you guys ever think about, like, what if 20 years down the road you keep all your figures and then these figures are worth less than, like, because Graham, we go to the store and we see these Star Wars figures still sealed and they're like $5-10, right?
Oh,
and
he's talking about
not Hot Toys, but just like any
the old like Kenner
3.75.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So like in 20 years there might be, way more valuable toys, 1/6 figures out there where this kind of hobby dies. Do you guys ever think about that? Like, what if these are worth like $80, $60?
That's why
I'm
they're
okay
not
with
investment.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly
Yeah.
why they're not investment.
It's about the ride, man.
Yep.
Not the
No,
destination.
I'm not saying that's on my head like all the time, but I think about it. We've talked about
It's
like
a good
curating
question.
and
Like, if you just
all
got stuck with everything, kind
yeah,
of. Like,
exactly. And you can't sell them, and now you're stuck with 1,000 figures when you're a grandpa, and you know.
I think
hand
another
them down
thing
to your
usually,
grandkids.
I think another thing usually when something like that happens is like you can see stuff start to trend, right?
Right,
Like
so then
you
you
would
start
see the
selling it
hobby
before
start
it
to
goes-
just like
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't
sure.
just be like all of a sudden everything drops. Like you would start to see the lack of interest and prices starting to drop. Like you would know when the
Would
right
that
time was
affect
to
your
get out.
interest if it was affecting other people's interest? If you saw like other people's interest kind of dying down, or the hobby or the community got smaller, would that kind of push you away from collecting?
Probably not.
He's
'Cause the
gonna get
real
his
ones are going to
statues.
stay in. Let's go, baby.
I mean, you take it under
Real ones.
consideration, but you got to
In
make
it
up
till
your
the
own call on that, your own mind on that one, man.
What'd you say, Dilo?
No, I said you got to take into consideration, but I mean, you at the end of the day, it's your call what you decide
your
to do
call.
with that there.
Sure.
It's your call.
Yeah.
Your call. We're really looking into the future tonight. Like, we're getting deep, and we're learning a lot about ourselves and about each other, and it's good stuff. And the last segment that I want to talk about before we get into the Hot Toys versus game is I did a video on this a couple weeks ago on like where I was at with art boxes, and I've made some changes so that I could store them. And I'm a believer in I want to keep the art boxes so that I can obviously retain the most value possible. So I understand why people get rid of art boxes and when they don't plan to sell. I don't plan to sell either, but at the same time, I just don't know what life is going to bring. So I want to keep them and just at least have that option to be able to sell. But I want to ask you guys, you can let us know like if you keep them or if you just get rid of them. But like if you keep them, is there like a threshold that if you get to like collecting, because again, we're talking about getting more and more figures in the future. Is there a point though when you're going to have to start thinking about like throwing them out, or would you guys consider like storing them off site, possibly paying money to do that? Like, have you ever thought about that? Because that's something I first thought about. Like in 4 more years, what's my art box storage kind of going to look like? So where are you guys on that? D-Lo, I want to start with you on this one.
Well, thankfully we have a lot of closets at my house, so I got plenty of storage to go. So you picked the right person for this question.
Our walk-in closet is for the art boxes.
Yeah, pretty much. You should. I'll send you guys a picture of my closet over here. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do
You'd
okay.
be amazed how many you could fit though when you really put your mind to it.
I've been thinking about picking up Tetris because I feel like I've gotten really good with the boxes.
Yeah,
so
I think I had like
I think I'd be
130 in my closet at one point. Before
easily.
I moved. Dude, it was impressive. Nothing short of amazing.
Thank you, Justin.
But yeah, for me, if it came down to it, I think the move to make would be kind of to break down the shippers if you have those, the brown shippers, store those separately there, and then I think I saw your video with that actually. Now that so assuming you're kind of
Thank you.
your
Thanks for remember that.
yeah. Shout out to the Jedi's Nice Watch. Watch his video. That's
okay. Don't mock me.
The Jedi's Nice Watch. But yeah, I mean, I think that was an excellent video you put up there. Honestly, that kind of gave me an idea for the future if it came down to it. Those art boxes / those brown shippers can be a kind of a pain in the ass to store, especially
just a little extra space, depending on where you're storing them, could mean the difference of a few more art boxes. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, like I would have to break down the brown shippers and then to consolidate the space to make more room if I need to go that route. But I could never get rid of the brown shippers, not because I personally have some kind of like worship of brown shippers or something like that. Here, it's just that I know other people can, and that can be the
Does it come
difference
with the
between
shipper?
deal or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some funny conversations with folks when I'm trying to sell figures. I mean,
I've lost sales over it because it didn't.
I have
Damn.
Yeah.
Guy asked.
I sold the shipper.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that's fine.
Damn good job too on that one, might I add. No, I've had people say, "Hey, can you double box it so the brown shipper itself is intact?"
Yeah,
that's where.
And
we
you wanted me to
lost
pay for the second box. I was like, "Get out of here."
That's where we lost it.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't
go
go
ahead.
loose now. If I go loose, I'm losing 20-30% of the value of that figure. Whether it's
Right.
worth
Even if the value of the figure goes down, you're losing even another 20 to 30% if you don't have the box.
Yep, easily.
What do
I
you
am
think about this though, Brick. Really quick,
That's
X-Man says he's getting rid of the clamshells and breaking down the art boxes. In my honest opinion, if I'm thinking about this, it's either all or nothing. If I'm getting rid of the clamshells, I'm just gonna get rid of the art boxes too. But
What's the point
but
at that point?
He's also thinking though maybe one day I'll display the box, or maybe I want to sell that figure, and at least the new owner can have the box. But I think you got to have the whole thing, X-Men. I know it takes up more space, but I think it's all or nothing. What do you guys say?
I'm with you on that. Like, I wouldn't start like taking away piece by piece and then just keeping one thing. I understand his point,
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, when you ship it, the figure's just going to be loose in the box. You have nothing to like protect it, and it's just not the same experience as having like the complete, the clamshell, the manual. For some people, the shipper.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Brick, chime in.
I'm very unorganized, so I need the art boxes to keep all the pieces in, all the accessories in, because I'm not organized like DLO over here with his little drawers where he keeps everything and labels everything.
Mini drawers.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Like
but you would think that I would be organized,
got a label maker and everything.
Can just see him with his little label.
But
oh shit, I got a bubble.
So I need to keep these. I need to find space. Luckily right now I do have the space, and I don't have to worry too much about it, but I couldn't see myself throwing these out or selling them or breaking them down.
And X-Man, I understand everybody's storage is different, so I get you got to do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No judgment here. It's just
right.
Figure's more important than the box for sure.
Space
but
is always the killer for everything.
Yeah.
Sneaker, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would personally I would have to have. I mean, I would use every last resort. Like right now, I have a guest bedroom closet right now that's packed full, and then like if I really needed to, I could go to the attic. Like I could go to my attic in my garage. Like that would be. I don't want to do that because of like Wisconsin with such extreme temperature changes. I'd take all the accessories out of the boxes, but I would go attic before getting rid of them all. I don't really care about the shippers. I'll get a figure without a shipper. I really couldn't care less about having a shipper. So if it has a shipper, great. I'll still store it that way. Because I like seeing the number on the box in my closet, because then I can look it up real quick on my phone and be like, oh, what's that figure?
Same.
When I can't see it, when it's all the way up in the top corner, and I'm like, fuck, the one I need is in the top far corner, so I got to take a giant stack out, get the little step stool. It's always a fun time. It's always a fun time. But yeah, it's nice having the shippers, but I've bought a bunch of figures where it didn't come with the shipper, but I do like having complete art box. Yeah, I won't ever get rid of art boxes. It's too convenient. You can leave all the accessories in there versus like I know DLO stores them in those little boxes.
Tackle boxes.
So yeah, little boxes, which is awesome too. But for me, I just leave everything in the box the way it is. You don't have to worry about it. Really easy to take it out if I want to switch something up. So I'll always just keep art boxes.
Yeah, and the shippers don't mean anything to me outside of the convenience. If I do want to sell, it's throw it in, slap a label on it, and you're good to go. Like otherwise, you got to search for a box somewhere, or possibly go buy one. So that's the reason too. I want to hold on. Again, I like to have a plan. So that's kind of where all these questions are coming from. Like I'm a planner. I like to have everything in place in case my mind changes, life changes, or something like that. But that's kind of where I'm at on that. Conquer Knight says Kiko did a great video on getting rid of his art boxes. They really aren't worth it if you're paying for storage and you're taking a loss selling almost any figure. So I agree. If you're starting to pay for storage, kind of reevaluate what you're doing there. But when you say taking a loss for almost any figure, but if you don't have an art box, you're still taking another 20 to 30% loss on that figure. So even though the value overall on these figures is going down, without that art box, it's going down another 20 to 30%. Does that make sense? Like,
yep.
That's why I want to maximize my value to its fullest extent, whether that's not, $30 under what it was for retail. I at least want to get to the most value for that figure if I do have to sell. So that's kind of why I keep the art boxes. But I understand anybody that wants to get rid of them, or it's a headache. I mean, I think all the time, what could I do with this extra closet down here? I could store so much other stuff that's a pain in my ass when I'm walking around my furnace or my septic system and stuff like that. So I get it, but that's kind of just where I'm at.
Yeah, when it comes to that, I really agree with if you're having to pay for outside storage monthly for that there, and then on top of everything else, yeah, it's I mean, you're losing money. Quite honestly, you're losing money on that there. But I also understand that like not everybody has a house. Some people are renting, certain kinds of apartments, depending how much square footage you get there.
Right.
You're limited by what your resources are around you. Me personally, if I did this when I was a renter in an apartment, unpopular opinion, but I would minimize how many figures I buy, just because if I'm at the point where I'm maxed out of space, because in an apartment, man, I'd rather have somewhere to store my clothes and stuff like that than shipper boxes and all that stuff if I was renting an apartment. But again, that's just my opinion. If I was a renter there, I would not go crazy where I'm sacrificing storage I need for myself and then renting out a storage unit, because at that point, the way the hobby is now, the way the value is of figures as it is today compared to when I started, there's no real benefit to you there, because you're not going to get that kind of money out of figures like you used to back then. So what's the point of spending that extra money? Because it's not an investment anymore. At that point, you're just trying to recuperate as much as you possibly can. So I say if you're thinking about storage, at that point, I think you need to reevaluate your actual collection is and see what you need to genuinely keep and what you can part with. I think that's the conversation to have.
Or sell the art boxes for 30 or 40 bucks. And then if you sell your figure,
great idea.
You've already made that money on the art box anyway. So, just something to think about. Food for thought. Any other final thoughts before we kind of move on here?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like in the same lane as you, Graham. I know there's a lot of people that make arguments. I've seen it on Facebook. Oh well, I'm not buying these figures to ever sell them down the line. I'm in this hobby to collect. I don't care about value. I'm right there with you. I think you said it best, where it's nice to always have a plan. We talked about this earlier, like, oh, where could you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, if I decide I want to sell my collection off, I have all the art boxes. I have whatever shippers I got with them. I can put them back in. The way I handle my stuff is kind of similar along the lines of how DLO does it. I do it a little bit differently. So what I do is when I get a figure in, I take all the accessories out of the box. I have a bunch of different size, like acid-free bags that I know won't affect the paint or anything. And I put them all together in one big bag, and it's by figure, of course. And then I have these big clear bins, and I just have all the bags in them. Not quite as organized as having like the label on it, having an individual box for each. But for me, it works just because the amount of figure accessories I have, just having them in the bins, it's better for storage. And I actually have a pretty big attic, and I have walk through storage upstairs. Like everything's like wood's put down everywhere, so I keep all my boxes in the attic, and I still have plenty of room up there. Of course, there's a ton of boxes up there, but yeah, I don't think I would ever get to the point where I'm paying for external storage. I think that's just it does become a waste of money when you go that route. But I totally agree. I mean, you can go on Facebook and look at loose versus in-box complete prices, and it's significantly different. Like I've bought loose figures before. Like I bought like a Hawkeye Endgame Deluxe for $125 because it was loose, or I bought like the Homecoming homemade suit Spider-Man for $125 because it was, so it significantly does affect the value. And if you want to preserve as much of that value as possible, I know some people are shaking their heads, but it's true. It really is true in the grand scheme of things. Loose versus complete with the art box and possibly the shipper, it does make a huge difference.
Damn, Breda.
Dude, so and this is not a call out or anything. There's one specific gentleman on Facebook that he has to have a pristine art box and a pristine shipper, and I've seen him offer like $65, $70 to achieve his goal multiple times. So there are people out there. I sold to him. Oh, he's the one that bought your box? There's people out there.
I think he bought my Wonder Woman box. I mean, I don't know if it's the same name because I know he didn't say his name, but I sold my Wonder Woman, my Warner Brothers 100 Wonder Woman shipper for $80.
God. Yeah, and that particular person, that's his thing. He's like, I want to have a pristine art box, pristine shipper, pristine, then that's his way of collecting. And
You're listening.
I respect it, man, because for me, if I get a dent in my box or something, I'm like, oh, whatever. At least I have it,
Yeah, well said. You guys got anything else for this?
Bless you.
So would there be a time then, if you got to a certain, just a yes or no, is there could you see yourself ever throwing art boxes out if you got to like, you just out of storage?
Never.
I'd probably sell the figure. It sounds crazy, but I'd probably just sell the figure at that point and move on to something else.
And we don't. You're saying we're out of space and like we're not going to do external storage,
right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's tough to say, you know, and sometimes we don't think about that stuff far
Because
ahead.
then,
You know?
then if you're like, well, I got figures that I really want to keep, you're not going to throw out the boxes for those ones because they're your favorite ones.
Yeah, like Ben Kenobi, you're not throwing that box.
Yeah, I'm
out.
not throwing that.
You know what
box
I'll
out.
do? I'm gonna go to my parents and be like, "Hey guys, could I store some stuff in your shed?
Just put it in some bins. Just put it in
Right.
some bins. We'll
You remember
never
how you
see it.
threw out all my toys without my permission? Well, I'm calling it a favor.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm bringing some back.
And by that point, I might make shelves just to line the box, like the art boxes along the wall, and then put the figures in front of it.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you
know,
could get
something
really,
like that.
yeah, or like, yeah, I could maybe, I would try to get creative with how I'd
Yeah,
store it.
sure.
But yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, such good conversations tonight. We're gonna finish off the night with a Hot Toys versus game, something we haven't done for probably a few months, and I'm excited to bring it back. So, guys in the chat, I want you to play this game as well. If anybody isn't familiar with this, because again, it's been a little bit, we're gonna pin two figures against each other, and you can pick one that either comes into your collection or stays in your collection, and the other has to leave. You cannot have both of them. Could be for nostalgia reasons, could be because you just think the figure looks better, could be for the accessories. Doesn't really matter. I just want to see what makes you collectors tick. So without further ado, let's bring up our Hot Toys versus game. And we're going to start with Toby on the left from the amazing the Spider-Man. And then the reason why I pinned the like the animated Spider-Man against this is because it is kind of that traditional looking Spider-Man. It's limited in number, so I know that adds value to people as well. So I want to know which one you guys would pick to stay or come into your collection and why. And Brick, you're on the top there, so I want to start with you on this.
Yeah, this is tough, but you know, I don't have my Toby yet. I'm still waiting for the deluxe to come. But I do have this comic book Spidey, and I've got to say it's one of my favorite Spider-Mans. I would say top 3 in my collection. But that being said, I mean, I got to go with having a Toby. I've heard some bad things about this Toby, whether it's the eyes or the webbing's crooked, his mask, whatever. But I mean, have that Toby head sculpt, to have the Sandman base. I need a Toby in my collection, so I would choose Toby over this comic book Spidey.
All right. How about you, DLO?
Comic book.
Wow.
Wow.
Comic book.
Want to add any reasons why?
Kind of all the same reasons Brick mentioned why he had some issues with their body, the mask, all that stuff. I mean, overall, it has gone down in urgency to get it. So full disclosure, part of my crazy week so far is I canceled my Toby at Sideshow. I'm going to buy it as the deluxe instead with the Sandman base anyway, so I'm not worried about that there. But I took the money and I pre-ordered tech with the points and all the stuff that I used on this originally. So
That a baby.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I grew up with the comic book Spider-Man, and especially the animated show as a kid. So for me, this is more nostalgic. It's kind of my representation of Spider-Man growing up. So as much as I love Toby, I just think the comic book one looks better.
Interesting. All right. So far, 1-1 tie. Hotline, what do you think about this? It's pretty split in the chat,
Dude,
by
this
the way.
question's BS, man, because this is very tough. Dude, this is very tough, and here's why. I own both of these figures. I recently, got my Toby Spider-Man, and there was a lot of things I wasn't happy with it. I honestly think the comic Spider-Man is a better executed figure. At the end of the day, it very much is, and I know people have issues with that one, but I love that figure. It's actually, currently, it's probably still my favorite Spider-Man figure in my collection. But, I have to go back to my roots and say, well, Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man. When I think of Spider-Man, who pops in my head first? Close second on the comic-inspired / animated Spider-Man, but for me, it's always going to be Tobey. So despite my issues with it, the comic Spider-Man is a better figure, better executed figure. I'm going to have to go with Tobey. I have to. And that's coming from someone who's very dissatisfied at the moment with my Tobey. The only thing that's saving me is I have a custom Toby on pre-order that I can't wait to get. So That's just I have that in the back of my mind. Like, you know, it's okay. You know, you can deal with what Hot Toys gave you because you have something else coming. So,
What do you got? What's on the agenda?
Riley Lowe. I'm sure you saw his custom Toby Spider-Man with the ripped
Sure.
mask. I got in on.
Oh,
that
it's a
run,
battle
so-
damage one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want
that's
that one so
awesome.
bad.
Yeah, I got in on that run, and he's also going to be doing a battle damaged Green Goblin as well. That's his next project. So
Wow,
I'm going to
that's
be
awesome.
buying that also.
It's pretty good price too. I wish I would have seen it before.
Dude, and it's
it
the
got sold
complete
out.
figure too. Like you get,
Yeah.
of course, the modded figure, but it comes in the box with all the accessories and everything. It's
Yep.
dude, he does incredible work. So
And you didn't have to send in your figure at all. He's got it.
no,
himself,
he
and-
he gets the fig, and he actually offered up front. He's like, "Do you want the deluxe or the regular?" And of course, I already had the deluxe on pre-order through Sideshow, so I was like, I don't need 2 Sandman bases, so I just got the regular. But there's obviously no difference apart from the accessories provided from Hot Toys. They're customized the same way, and the cool thing is he's been like updating it, you know, as time has progressed since he did the run. He's been updating it, so he's done changes to the neck. He made the neck basically completely seamless because obviously you're not pulling off the mask head because the mask goes over the face.
yeah.
He's made a lot of changes in terms of accuracy of the placement of the holes and everything. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
looking-
excited for that one. Really
I'm looking
excited
forward
for
to
that
seeing the Green Goblin too, like what he does with that.
one. Yeah, dude.
Man.
I'm probably gonna be in on that
I
one.
wonder if he's
because
gonna have like the you know the dents in his chest from the glider.
right,
or
like
how
the
he's gonna
glider
do that.
puncture holes.
Yeah, there you go. Puncture
Dude, if
hole,
he
not
made
dent.
like
Come on now.
made it so you can like kind of shove the glider partially in his chest.
Oh,
I think
that would
be
be
insane.
crazy.
I mean, that's you know you're asking a lot because he's a customizer at the end of the day.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really excited for that. That's like honestly, that's the coolest custom I've ever seen, just for my personal taste. So
Oh yeah, it's nice.
That kind of having that in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry because I'm honestly like. I'm unsure if I'm gonna even run the mask sculpt on this one because I had such a bad experience. I've got another one coming. That's what I ended up doing. I'm returning this to Sideshow, and I bought one that had a second batch mask. That's how much I love this character. I'm willing to go through all that crap to do it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So 2-1 Toby so far. Sneaker.
Oh, brother.
Do you have Toby?
I don't. I thought about getting him because Toby's like my favorite Spider-Man, like version of Spider-Man between him, Garfield, and Holland. But I don't yet. I'm considering it, and this comic Spider-Man has been nothing but nightmare fuel for me for the past since I got it. I don't know. It's just been horrible. But I guess now I have a good one. But I don't know. This is tough because like I have the comic one. It's a cool figure. I'm glad I have it because I like the comic representation and like the classic suit. I would say like Toby as a character is probably more meaningful just in general for me. I just don't have the.
Were you around
figure.
when those movies came out?
Was I around when what movies came out?
The Toby Spider-Man movies?
Yes.
How old do you think he is?
Dude, he's older
Jesus,
than me.
I'm not 10.
Why didn't you ask me that question, dude?
Wow.
Brett says, which would you throw the art box?
That's how we should do it.
Yeah.
That's
So I
true.
don't know. Like I like the comic figure, but I feel like Toby is more meaningful. But I don't know if I'm getting Toby. This is a tricky one for me because, like, I
did
like
well.
Toby as a character, but all I'm seeing is like everybody just having issues with the figure, and the mask and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm kind of glad mine's taking a while to arrive, so I don't have to worry as
I
much.
would
Don't
I'm
say
probably
that.
gonna-
Okay.
Don't
I know,
say
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
Might
I am
still end up with the
probably
first
just
batch
going to
somehow.
like I'll probably end up getting a Toby figure, but I'm just gonna wait until all the dust settles with the figure. No pun intended. Is that,
Yeah, same.
well, I guess it's sand, but
So which one are you
But,
picking?
I want to lean more towards Toby, but like I said, I want a good figure too. You know what I mean? So I just can't get it right now. I want to, but I'm just gonna have to wait and see. But I lean more towards that because I like the character more. And the
You gotta
comic
pick one.
Spidey, I'm gonna go Toby. And like this comic Spidey, like I said, I like the figure, but I've had so many issues with it. And I like Toby more as a character, and I'm probably gonna get that figure eventually down the road. So I'll give the slight edge to Toby.
This is so rigged. You pretty much said in a nutshell. This figure sucks, and you're still picking it. I don't
Right.
get you guys.
Well, I had a
I don't
horrible
get it.
experience with this comic Spider-Man figure, man. Like it's
Well,
been
true.
just it's
Dude,
been
I got so lucky. Mine was flawless, and that's
Mine
normally
was
not my
not.
luck. I opened it
Yeah,
up and I'm like,
mine was
dang, dude,
flawless, too.
my mask is good. You
I was
know,
lucky.
I didn't
Yeah.
hate the eyes as much in person. Like,
and I know I'm not the only one who had issues too. But yeah, so
yeah.
for that, and like I think the Toby figure is a cool figure, but yeah, just like that the mask stuff, and just man, there's some things that need to get figured out before I pick it up, and yeah, that'll
And
be a
pretty much
process,
all
I'm
it
sure.
is though is like it's kind of like loose up here,
Little
right?
bump.
Well, it's the eye placement as well.
Yeah, the eye placement.
the eye
has-
placement,
So
yeah,
and
like
the web
mine,
lines
mine was
and the web
horrible.
lines.
Right, my eyes.
Yeah.
So you have that centralized point on the Spider-Man mask, right, where the webbing all meets at a cross section. The eyes are supposed to be, if you look at the actual No Way Home mask, they're supposed to be on the lower end of that mask, that cross section. On the first batch mask, they're like all the way up here, kind of like where his eyebrows would be almost, and it looks horrible. And then, you know, also some people have that bulging seam in the front where it's kind of like the fabric. You know, and D Knight did a video that was pretty good, kind of showing you how to mask that a little bit. But dude, and then, you know, in my situation, everybody was like, oh, well, the deluxe from Sideshow supposedly has a second batch mask. I'm like, sweet, I'm in the clear. I get it. And then I have like one of the worst masks I've ever seen. And then I reached out to Sideshow.
That was bad.
Yeah, I reached out to Sideshow and they were like, oh, well, Hot Toys, this is literally what they told me. They said that Hot Toys said that they didn't send any first batch masks over to Sideshow, which is obviously not true. But yeah, that's the experience.
That was their way out of it.
Yeah.
Then the web lines are like some of them are like
Yeah,
really
like curved
rounded
and
out
weird.
and like
Yeah.
curved all I can't.
And then the neck seam, you know, it's hard to unsee that too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that.
Well, I'm with DLO the MD. I
kind of
want to
want to change my answer now.
I'm going with
Nope.
comic book.
We're set in stone, dude.
I know
hate both these figures.
this was
It's
one that I
rad.
wanted, and then I actually had to cancel my pre-order because I was getting other figures. And then I know a couple of you guys, Connor was one of them too. You guys are like, "Hey man, I see the Spider-Man." I'm like, "I can't right now." But yeah, I just went into the bad batch. So it's one that I would like to have, but at the same time, I don't want to pay a ton of money to have. You know, like I want
I'm your guy.
but I don't want to pay up for it. Yeah, right. Pay up for a body. Come on, the hell out of here. Want to say hello to Low Key Collector. What's up, Calvin? Thank you for coming into the show. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing well. It's pretty split though. I mean, pretty split between Toby and comic. To be honest, I thought it would be more on the Toby side, but I'm glad this one turned out well. Speaking of tough ones, though, let's go on to the next one. Ooh, we got Hera against Sabine. If you guys are Hera fans in the chat, you know what to do. Put that emoji in there. I'm going to start at the bottom, work my way up this time. So, Sneaker.
God, you're sick.
You can only
I don't know.
have
I need some more
one.
time. I can't go first on this one.
You got to go
I'll go
first.
first, dude. I
Go,
got mine.
okay, let's let Connor go first. He's the guest.
Let Connor go first. He's a big Star Wars fan. He's like me.
Dude,
Kind of one in the same.
this is a tough one, but it's an easy decision for me. Sabine's a much more interesting figure, let's be real. She's got much more going on, as much as I love Hera.
Much more
Sabine's
going
got much
on.
more going on. Bro, look, we're not talking about we're talking about costume design. Sabine's got much more going on, and also Sabine comes with the Loft Cat as well. So that's like that kind of tips you over the edge because you kind of get two figures with one set. So it's a very difficult decision to make, but I'm gonna have to go Sabine, man. This figure's just too good.
Jose
Both of them are great.
knows what's
but
up.
Gosh.
All right, so he's going with Sabine. Sneaker, you want to go next, or you want me to go to D'Lo?
Leave
D'Lo,
me
go
last.
ahead.
I'll go last.
All right, go ahead, D'Lo.
For me, it's going to be Hera. I'd rather have Hera, and not for the emojis I'm seeing in the chat. You guys disgust me. I'm kidding.
Sickos.
I agree.
Sickos, bunch of sickos.
Bastards.
Respect her, guys.
Who is that guy?
No, ironically, I after we went over the last couple announcements from the Ahsoka line, the last couple weeks, I decided to go back and rewatch Ahsoka again, and I gotta tell you, I'm just looking at this from a figure perspective and nothing else. I think Hera is a more interesting figure to look at. I think she would stand out more just because different species there. Sabine, I finally finished Rebels, and I cannot connect to this version of her. So I'm not as excited about her as I am about Hera, in just my opinion there. I'll get both, but if I had to choose one today, I'd definitely go Hera, just because she has more of an A factor for me.
My man. What'd you think of Rebels? Really quick. Was it a struggle to get through? Are you glad you watched it? Did you
I
enjoy it?
really liked the truth be told, what the struggle is for me? The animation. I'm not a fan of the animation. I don't like the way the art style is of Rebels, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
Very childish. I can't connect to it there. But
That's why this
seeing
guy liked
everybody in the Ahsoka in the Ahsoka show, you know, it definitely helps like create a connection
Why?
between the show and the Ahsoka show. But Sabine was, I think, in my opinion, was a much better character in Rebels than she was in Ahsoka. So I'm gonna go with her for that.
All right. Brick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hera because I really want her with Chopper. I think they're gonna look great together. So if I had to choose one, I would choose Hera. I also think, like, I agree with DLO. I think she would be more of a character that kind of pops in your display because she's so different and unique.
That's true.
And you know, she doesn't look like anything else. So I'm gonna go with Hera just for that. And I actually like her character more in the show Rebels than Sabine. So
All right, Sneaker, it's your turn. You've had enough time to think. There's got to be a decision.
Graham, did you go?
No, you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. This is really easy for me. I'm going to go with Hera. I don't like Sabine that much as a character.
Guys, I'm out of here, man.
yeah,
I'm out of here, dude.
She's really good in Rebels, man. Did you finish watching Rebels yet?
No, I actually accidentally skipped season 3. Now I'm on season 4, so I'm just like, I'm
You
gonna go with it.
accidentally skip a whole season.
A whole season of plot. You
didn't like
okay.
start it, and you're like,
God.
hold on a second, this isn't connected.
I was like, yeah. So I went back and I watched the Darth Maul Obi-Wan episode. I've seen it already, but I watched it again. I'm like, I'm just too far. I'm like on the 3rd or 4th episode of season 4, so I'm gonna keep going. So I'm on like season 4, episode 7 or 8. But it's just it's a struggle for me to get through. But I don't know. Sabine she's okay, but in the live action too, she just kind of annoys me. Like she's just like always getting them into more trouble than they need to be in. I don't know. I don't know. I think I agree with Brick, actually, if we're being strictly serious here. Like, I think Hera just looks awesome. You know, it's a Sneaker. What's her species?
Twilight.
Thanks. So, you know, we've never had that.
Thanks.
We've never had that before. But she looks really good too. The actress I like a lot. She was in 10 Cloverfield Lane. She was in something else I've seen too, but I don't know.
Scott Pilgrim, man. What the hell?
Yeah, it's
I haven't seen that.
You gotta see that movie, bro.
wife.
But I don't know.
Fiona.
Just even just as aesthetically as a character, I lean more towards Hera. I liked her better. I don't know. Okay, Sneaker, you're on the stage now.
I don't know what to pick.
Don't do this to me, man.
You're ridiculous.
Not real. Don't worry.
Man, this is tough. This is a real tough one, but I would say, I guess like I give the edge. I would say I give the edge a little bit more. I'm sorry, Connor, bro. I'm sorry. I gotta give the edge a little bit more to Hera. I think too, it's just like having a Twilight, like the first one we get from Hot Toys, first figure ever. Like Sabine is just kind of, Sabine is like a human character. This is the first Twilight, and it's just the figure looks great. The head sculpt is just spot on in my mind. I lean more towards that. I have my opinions about the character, like the characters themselves, but I feel like I lean more towards just the figure perspective in this one, and I feel like Hera has the slight edge, just being that like I said, Twilight, not in the collection, unique, and her character's awesome. But I just the slight edge to Hera, but they're both really awesome. This one's tough. These are tough tonight. Tough ones.
I did my job. So did we have 3-2 for Hera?
No, we have 4 to 1.
It was 4 to 1.
I'm on Sabine Mountain
Sorry,
by
bro.
myself. That's all right. There's actually a lot of people in the chat that said Sabine, so I'm not alone.
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
I could see this one being split.
It's
I could
okay.
see
To
this
the
one being
panel,
split.
Connor is an outcast, but
I'm
to
the
the
loser,
chat,
it's
we
all right.
are totally out of our minds. So
Also, Sabine's
Okay.
a badass. Well, they both are, but you could go on about their characters. But
I think what pissed me off the most about Sabine was when they got to, shit, I'm blanking out. What's his name? When they rescued, or when she got to,
Ezra ain't helping it.
Ezra. when she found Ezra, the whole fact that like she played dumb and like, oh, you know, like basically like, how'd you find me or how'd you get here, and just it bothered me.
Everybody's yelling Ezra at you now.
Dude, look at where I'm at here, okay?
That's the
It's almost
vintage,
gone.
guys. Come on.
Yes, leave me alone. All right. Last one. I can take it, guys. I can take it. We're gonna go DC. We have the newer Catwoman versus Supergirl that is yet to be, released. But obviously, we've seen her on pre-order, and I think these two are very different characters, but still in the same family. So I want to go with DLO
Brick.
first.
No, go with Brick. I'm seeing the stress on Brick's face.
All
I
right.
want this. I need
Brick.
this right now.
You go,
want
Brick.
this.
I need this.
Man, I think they both need work. But
Well, the one is ain't gonna get more work. So
I know.
I doubt the other
I'm
one
gonna,
will either,
I'm gonna
actually.
go. I'm gonna go with Supergirl just because she is my favorite female superhero. My favorite female lead. I know we won't be seeing Sasha Kaye any longer, but it was nice seeing her, and I loved her portrayal of Supergirl. So I'm gonna have to go with her. I love that base too. I just wish that they would fix up that head sculpt a little bit because it's rough. But I'm gonna choose Supergirl here. More powerful,
Interesting.
and we don't have a
Okay.
Supergirl. It's all Cavill.
We get a super chat from How You Figure, $2. He says, "Meow."
Oh,
Now, what is
gosh,
so
he's
damn
waiting
funny?
for this moment.
I know he is head over heels in love with this Catwoman figure. Have you gotten her yet?
Even though he destroyed her in another stream.
Oh,
Whoa, new information.
Justin, what do you have to
here.
say for yourself?
man.
What's going on with that?
Brick with a call out here, man.
Yep.
I don't
Justin,
know.
do you want
did
to
that actually
explain
happen?
yourself?
That actually happened. Yeah.
Hmm.
He had a change of heart.
It was
Thank
a
you for
tough
the super chat, by the way.
It was a tough one, but yeah, he got rid of her.
Wait, got rid of her.
Well, when you have to choose like keep one,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
give away one, and then destroy one. Yeah.
All right. I see.
Sorry,
Sick
Justin,
game. I don't
but
want to play
had
that.
to.
All right.
It's a sick game.
D'Lo, go ahead. Let's finish this up
Catwoman.
strong.
Yeah,
Catwoman.
I'll go with Catwoman, just because. I'm more of a Catwoman kind of guy than a Supergirl, personally. So feel more meowish.
How about you, Connor?
Dude, I can't not go with my girl Anne Hathaway. Come on now. I really enjoyed her as Catwoman, and I also have a very substantial Dark Knight collection. So
There you go.
and I am getting Supergirl. I did actually pre-order a decent amount of the Flash stuff. And Brick, they actually did update the sculpt. I don't know. This looks like the old sculpt. She
Yes.
does look a lot better
Yeah.
now. I will say that.
Yeah.
Does. I don't know if you don't like the new sculpt that they did, but I actually think it looks pretty good personally. But
No, I forgot about that, but yeah.
yeah, and not only that, dude, like their proportions on her are like pretty impressive. Like they literally nailed the actress's proportions on Supergirl. So she looks awesome. They both look great. But Anne Hathaway, come on now. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I got to go with Catwoman for sure.
How about you, Sneaker? I know you're a huge DC fan. Got a Batmobile and nothing else.
Got a bat cycle.
And
Okay,
a
hold
Joker.
on. I also have Wonder Woman, I also have Peacemaker, and I also have Joker. in our Joker, okay?
I'm glad you have Peacemaker.
Um,
I'm happy.
yes. Catwoman. Yeah.
Very good.
It's really just, I'll call it a missed opportunity, the fact that Sasha Kaye was in this movie and they're not bringing her back, and it's just literally a one and done. Like that really sucks. But yeah, Catwoman, man, this is an easy one for me, finally.
I'm going Catwoman as well. Neither of them are likely to be perfect, but I would much rather have the Catwoman to also have in my Dark Knight collection. So 4-1, Brooke has the Supergirl. What say you guys in the chat? Catwoman. I see a lot of comments, but yeah, Catwoman here probably. All right. Well, very good. Well, that was Hot Toys Versus. Hopefully you guys all had fun playing. Oh, look who we got here. Collecting Madness is in the house. I'm late, but none of that matters because it was Padme's fault. What up, collectors? Thank you for stopping in. We just finished Hot Toys Versus, and pretty much going to be tuning out now. So make sure you you watch the replay because I want to give you guys all an opportunity to plug your channels and what's going on. So Brick, I'll start with you.
Yeah, just released my thoughts video on anime. So that was released about half an hour before the show started. So if you guys want to, or wait until you wake up in the morning, have a little break, you can watch that. I have a Brick at Night I'm going to do this Friday. Not sure if I'm going to do it every Friday night, but it's pretty late. It's at 9:30 Central Time. It would be like just a late night build and just talk about whatever, not just about Lego, but Hot Toys, movies, whatever the conversation brings up while I build, and maybe have in the future some people come on and build with me. I know there's a few 1/6 collectors, Brick After Dark. I thought about that actually. Yeah, and then Monday, of course, we have the Beagle 6, where I will have Austin Nicholas and Danny Spachka on with me.
Nice.
Hopefully Flavio can make a comeback this week as well. So yeah, just a couple of live streams, and if you want to check out that review on Padme, go for it.
If Flavio can't make it back, he should just amputate that damn leg. Just be done with it. It's time.
I agree.
Oh,
Get your priorities in check, pal.
Get that new armor, baby.
How about you, D-Lo?
Get that upgraded armor.
Yeah, DLO The Collector on Instagram and YouTube. A couple shorts on there now that I just posted recently. I've got my Cobb Vent video going up next week. It's on track there. That's the one where I give
Trash the
Sneaker
figure.
a lot of crap for forcing me to get that figure against my will.
Go,
So that should
baby.
be fun.
Phenomenal figure.
And yeah, later on this week on Friday, I will be joining Dante from Man of Hot Collectibles on his stream. So yeah, you want to see that? Come check us out there.
Very nice. Sneaker.
I don't really have much in the pipeline right now, to be honest. I've been taking it day by day
Way
right
to
now.
sell yourself.
That's all.
You can go look at a Q&A that I did, which was actually really fun. I did on Monday night. I just did a Q&A because I wanted to do something fun and just did a Q&A. People sent in a bunch of questions, which was awesome. Chat was really cool. So yeah, you can go check that out. My next collector tour is going to be coming up. I'm actually going to have Jose on, Jose G. Hernandez. I told him he is going to be next in line for that. That'll probably be, oh, there he is. Look at that. You better comment on the talk that you've been having in the chat, Jose, if you want to come on my show. No, but yeah, so that'll be in the pipeline in the future. And then I just want to mention something real quick. So if you guys are familiar with Underground Figures, he's doing a big 15% off retail sale on a bunch of older figures. So MMS 300s, 400s, and 500s. Okay. You can take me off full screen now. So, but there, it's kind of like some figures that, you know, have been in stock for a while. So if you're looking for some deals on some, yeah, like I said, MMS 300s, 400s, 500s, you can go check that out. 15% off retail price. So undergroundfigures.net, go check it out.
Nice.
And that's all I got. I'm waiting for a bunch of figures to come in. Hopefully, we can get some content out when that happens. So,
And last but certainly not least, Hot Toys Hotline. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you had fun just dealing with our shenanigans and
Dude,
talking
like,
6 scale.
You know, it's just like being on my stream. It's the same way we act. So that's probably why we all kind of intertwine. Because it's like, you know, I feel like I'm hanging out with my buddies, you know. But yeah, it was great to be on. I appreciate everybody in the chat saying what's up and engaging in the conversation. Some really good conversations we had tonight. Stuff that you don't typically see. So, you know, big shout out to Graham for coming up with some unique stuff. You guys know, if you watch me every Tuesday, we switched to Tuesdays, used to be Thursdays. Every Tuesday we do our live stream, Hot Toys Hotline live. News, anything that comes up, we talk about it. In terms of figures, I'm very selective with the stuff I review. I'm very much the person that like, oh, do I want to do a review on this? I search it up. How many people reviewed this? Okay, I think enough people did great reviews on that. I'll move on to something else. So for me, it's kind of I decide when it shows up. By the time it arrives to me, I see, you know, how much it's been covered, and then I decide if I want to do a video. Or it could be something that I'm like really passionate about. So I might actually still do a video on the Batman just because I truly do think, and you know, these might be fighting words for some people, but I think it's probably one of the best Hot Toys ever made, just in terms of a, you know, an overall execution of the whole set. So I might actually do a video on that. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts, which it seems like a lot of people are for some reason, they want to hear me talk about the Batman, even though it's been out for a bit. I'll probably do a video on that soon. And then you guys know me, I'm a big third party guy. So any of the new third party stuff, I try to review it as I get it in. So that's basically
Are you getting the Willy Wonka?
From Mars Toys?
Mars Toys? Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 of those to pay for. You know, shout out to my boy Collecting Madness. saying that he's calling me a rat in the chat. He said, also, Graham, why is there a rat on the panel? Don't watch this channel ever, guys. So, but no, I'm actually buying 2 of them because, Chris got married last year. And, of course, being my friend, I got to give him a 6-scale gift for his wedding. So I actually got him one as well. So we'll both be sharing that excitement together. I'll get my Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, and he'll get his. And then speaking of Wonka, I'm hoping that Hot Toys eventually announces the Timothée Chalamet one. I was talking to Steve about that earlier because I really, really liked that movie. Gene Wilder is always going to be my favorite, but I liked it a lot. So yeah, I'll be getting that Wonka for sure. I'm excited for that one.
Awesome. And as it goes for me, I don't know what I'm doing this week either. Gonna go on a journey with Brick tomorrow, get some Blowdens, if that's how they're pronounced.
Blowden.
Gonna put them right here. So if you guys want me to put certain figures here, let me know. I don't know if I'm doing a mix match or miscellaneous or DC or what I'm gonna do, but maybe I'll just change it up each and every week. So I'm gonna spice up the background a little bit for you, so you don't have to just look at one of the best figures ever. I'm gonna give you a bunch of figures.
Greatest of all time.
That's right. But no, we'll figure something out hopefully for this week, and we'll kind of go from there. I do have Captain Rex coming in tomorrow, thanks to Hawkwars Toys. So that will hopefully complete my Bad Batch / Clone Wars line. I don't want to get any deeper than that because I even got Anakin, which I didn't think I would do. So yeah, always evolving, always changing. But thank you so much to Hot Toys Hotline for joining us tonight. Thank you for the Wolfpack brethren for being on here tonight as well. And most of all, thank you to the chat for making this stream fire. It was so much fun each and every week. We will be back next week for the big birthday bash. We're going to ask DLO about his most memorable presents, his best and worst birthdays, and how it feels to be 40. And we'll kind of go from there.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah,
true.
On our way out, why don't you all throw a too sweet to the crowd and bid you adieu until next week. Too sweet to you. Come on, Connor. You can do it.
Connor, come on.
What am I doing? Hold on. You got to
Too
shoot.
sweet.
Doubler, dude.
Wow. Holy.
Very nice.
Too sweet.